All right, boys, let's get into it. Soup's interview on the OSRS podcast. Hype. We're going to just be listening to it here as we kill
the
these.
next evolution of Gillanor Games is real life. In the moment, I'm like, oh my God, like I just ruined, they're going to hate me. I ruined this entire episode.
No way.
The CEO came up to me and said, I remember when you screamed on the live stream. And I was like, this is
Guys, leaked. Gillanor Games, real life. Next episode, all content creators flying out, living on an island with a host where you have to compete for food and do different challenges, and you can backstab and vote people off the island. Never been done before. It's about to go crazy.
the first interaction I had with them. Like, that's so funny, right?
Hello everyone and welcome to the official Old School Runescape podcast, where we get to chat shit with JMods and creators alike. I'm Mod Aiza.
And I'm Mod Sween, and this is our chance to get to know the person behind the crown, hear their stories, and hear their experiences.
Unless they don't wear a crown because they're a creator, and then we're going to figure out who the person is behind the screen. And today's guest is a very, very lovely addition and one that we're very grateful to welcome. It is the one, the only, Soup.
Soup here. Super happy to be here. Love you both. I'm excited to chat some
so
shit like you
sweet.
said. So let's get to it. I'm ready.
Let's get it. How are you doing today?
Amazing. This is honestly one of the best weekends of my life. I guess it's a week now. I don't even know what time it is, but super, super fun to be
Living
here.
that creator life.
Among
Every day's a
creators,
weekend.
exactly, right? In the Gillanor Games editing season. But yeah, absolute blast. Really happy to be in the office, which my first time, I was saying it's a decade since my last time here. So
Wow.
That
yeah,
long, really?
Yeah, a bit of an anniversary for me, which is exciting.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I love it. I'm Unk now. Been around for a minute.
Yeah.
That's the new term.
Unk Soup.
Yeah,
Unk
Yeah,
Soup.
we've got Unk Sween over here.
Yeah. You're older than me.
Yeah, I am, but I don't act it.
You don't
yeah.
act it.
You don't look at it. You don't look at it.
I don't act it.
Firstly, what I'd like to ask, and I think what some people are interested in, how did you come across RuneScape? Do you remember how you found it? Who told you about it? What were you doing in game, like right in the beginning?
Yeah, I have a pretty vivid memory of my first time playing. I remember
I thought the podcast is over. Did they extend it? It looks like they might have interviewed several content creators while we were there at the Jagex meetup. They obviously didn't have time to interview everybody, so it looks like maybe they interviewed a few people while they were there. So now they're probably gonna release a series of interviews of whoever they interviewed while they were there, but not you. They did not invite me, which is totally understandable. It was all of the biggest RuneScape creators ever, and you probably don't want to waste your time on somebody like me when you've got freaking Soup, Soul Mission, Bodie, you got all the Giga Chads there, you know? Well, they already interviewed those guys. But it'd probably be better to interview those guys again than have me on the show. Let's just be honest here. So we'll probably get to see who they interviewed. Obviously, they'll release them in a row. But I think that the Soup is like number one, man. Gillanor Games host, you got to get him in there.
for my friends in middle school, so in the US in middle school, I must have been 9 or 10, I think. They got me playing, but we had limited computer time at the time, as I'm assuming most kids did back in the day. So I had 30 minutes. I could never progress far. I think I was on tutorial
Definitely
for 2
settled.
weeks. I'm not even kidding. 2 weeks minimum to get me past there. But I finally got
Soup
out.
settled, Jimmy.
My friend traded me an inventory of U-logs.
Those are my guesses.
And then I logged out.
Oda
and never
block.
logged back in, which I think U-logs at the
My guesses are Soup settled, Jimmy Oda block, maybe framed. If they interviewed like 5 people that were there, well, they already interviewed Bodie. They already interviewed Bodie and Solo. Those would be my guesses of who they interviewed. Would be those ones.
the time were actually pretty
Yeah, they were good.
amazing.
For brand makers.
2007,
For a brand
yeah.
fresh account, that would be nice.
So
yeah.
I don't think he was happy with me, but then I logged out and then didn't play for a year and a half, and then
They wrote on the blog, Oda and Jimmy are the next podcast. Dude. Oh, Foe. Maybe Foe? Yeah, those would be my guesses. So, yeah, I'm spot on there.
to the game when I saw friends playing again, start of high school. So I was actually back into it. And the first thing I did was my friend was racing to 99 fire making. So I tried catching up to him, got fire making to level 60 and then stopped. But then that's when I started making videos because I was like, I want to do something else. So it just all started there, which is 17 years ago now, I guess. So yeah.
What was the motivation then for making videos? Like, were you trying to become like a video maker? Or
Yeah.
So that was the goal from the beginning.
I think I just loved the concept of people watching my content.
Okay.
And like, I loved the concept of views and being like, oh, like 14 people watch now, 17. I used to make Lego stop motion videos. I have a hidden channel out there.
No
wow.
way.
Which is
Show us afterwards.
Yeah, please. I love stop
I will
motion.
show it to you. So
Yeah,
there's
cool.
Lego stop motion. I did paint stop motion animation. Like I drew on paint and then did a new version. And I got like old feedback on there from people being like, oh, this is like pretty cool and stuff.
Really cool.
So that's how I started. And I just, ever since YouTube was a thing, I was like, this is super cool. So when I started RuneScape, and then I had watched some YouTubers at the time, Nightmare RH.
Yep.
When I watched his videos at the time, I was like, this is the best thing ever. Like him just, you know, hooba hooba haba haba, you know, dancing and everything. I was like, and people loved his videos. And at the time, it was
Nightmare the Goat.
crazy views.
I might have to watch one of his videos one day.
And since
I
then,
don't know who
was
he's
like,
talking about.
I've uploaded a video a month ever since 2009 for RuneScape. It's just been, I've not wanted to quit ever. Even if I took breaks or even if I was doing something else before I was full time.
Yeah.
I always wanted to do it. So yeah, it was been around for a minute.
I think now you've got kind of like identity as a video maker. Like I think you could summarize, you have events like Gillanor Games, stuff like that too. And otherwise you kind of guide like content. What kind of like process did you go to trying to find what worked for you? Because I like I said, I sorted by oldest on your channel.
Yeah.
And there's a huge variety of content.
Yeah. I mean, I did a bit of I did PKing at one point. Like
Yeah.
PvP was my main thing. I DH PKing way back in the day. Some old Supler there. But when Old School came out, I think I had 8 to
DHPK.
10,000 subscribers.
What's that, chat?
And I just remember uploading a Cook's Assistant quest guide. It was my first Old School video, I think, or before like we were talking about the petition to bring the game back. It got like 30,000 views, which at the time was like super
that's insane,
great.
yeah.
And then I did another quest guide, and then another quest guide, and then I'm not even kidding. For a month, I did 3 quest guides.
Chat, someone in the guild just got a scythe. Ice cement mixer. Scythe on an Iron Man. What? You're kidding me. And then a Vernic treads right before that. Holy.
Day, like because the growth was just insane, and Old School was booming like on release and everything. And I couldn't believe it. So I started off as the quest guide guy, and kind of built a little community off that there. And then from there, it just made your standard RuneScape progress videos like everybody was doing, whatever I was doing at the time, recording it.
Yep.
Content back then was way different than content is now. I mean, you kind of just played and you uploaded. There was not really a thought process behind the storyline or the narrative or music even. You just use RuneScape music maybe sometimes.
Yep.
But for me, I was just like, I want to upload everything I'm doing. And then from there, you know, the story kind of goes on, but went from that to random progress videos, and then to Gillanor Games was the next big thing. So,
Nice.
so yeah.
At what point did you realize, or was there a point where you realized that actually this is a thing that I can do full time? This is my career now.
Yeah, I was a bit on and off because I did full-time streaming for a year. I
Yeah.
tried that out. And if there's one thing for me is I'm okay at the game. Like I have my quiver, I have my Infernal Cape. I made a solo raids guide back in the day, which I'm really proud of. But then the first time you see your videos hitting like consistently like 100,000 views, where it's like, okay, I can do this. Like, I think maybe let me try it out. I think you have to be willing to take that leap, but you have to be willing to be at a spot where you can already do it.
Right.
Which I think a lot of people can back me up on that, the other creators. So for me, it was, can I sustain myself off the YouTube ad revenue? Is this something I can see myself doing for a long period of time? It took a lot of convincing for like myself and then my parents.
Chat, if you are going to become a full-time creator, would you rather make it as a streamer or a YouTuber? Because it's very hard to do both. And a lot of content creators have to choose one. And it looks like Soup chose to be a YouTuber. Now, let me explain to you guys the difference. A streamer, you have to be at your computer at least 5 days a week, every day at a certain time. It's like a real job. Even though it's doing something that you really love. But you also have to be, I would say you want to try to be entertaining every second that you're live if you want to be a successful streamer, which is a lot harder than some people ever talk about. Now, which means you're talking for those 8 hours straight. A YouTuber can sit at your computer in the dark, in silence, and play the game 12 hours a day. And then they do that for like 3 weeks. And then for 1 week, they spend in their room editing, not playing the game at all. And that week sucks. So you kind of have to choose between those two options. I mean, and for me, I do both. So it double sucks. But I don't know how much longer I can do it for, but I'm going to try my best. So you have to choose between one of those two. YouTuber, you can kind of get away living your life a little bit more. You have more freedom. You don't have to be in front of your computer. So I think a lot of people would prefer to be a YouTuber if they had to be one or the other. But that's dependent on the person. Which one would you choose? I actually prefer being a streamer. But if I had to choose one, I would just be a streamer. I'm okay doing the 5 days a week being a streamer. But I guess it depends on the level of success and all that you can have. So I don't know. I don't really have too much of an answer. I think that YouTubers could probably live a little bit better. Like if you're making the same amount of money, I think that YouTubers have a slightly better life. And then if you can actually if you could teach somebody how to edit your footage, then you could legitimately, you could bring in a script writer and an editor if you had the money. And all you have to do is record the voiceover lines like what Settle does. He could just play, send the footage to an editor. He could have somebody he'd still have to write the script because he's the only one that knows what happened. So yeah, I think that YouTuber is probably a slightly better life with more freedom, but I do love being a streamer, so it's tough. So for me, I'd probably still choose streamer. But I know a lot of people would choose YouTube.
It's too. They're like, they still made me get my college degree. I wanted to do it full time before that, but they told me, no, you have to get your degree first. So I got my degree, jumped into it. And this was before like the YouTube sponsorship era as well. So it was a bit more risky ad revenue wise. But then I did it, and then it was just the best time to do it because the game grew from there, like ever since. So I was really happy.
Nice.
Yeah.
What did you get your degree in, if you don't mind me asking?
I double majored. I got a degree in broadcasting communications. So that actually kind of had something to do a little bit with YouTube. I learned a bit about editing and promoting yourself and being in the TV industry market kind of sense. And then I also did a German. I majored in German as well. So
can you speak German?
I can speak German
fluently.
Fluently, yeah.
Wow, that's
wow. I did not know
My
that.
dad and I speak German with each other. He's from Germany, so I grew up speaking German with him. So it was a bit of a cheat,
dude.
degree because
Soup could have been in a sauerkraut, huh?
To do it pretty easily, but weird flex.
Okay.
But yeah, so that was a double major for me. So yeah.
Any other weird flexes that you have?
I'll pop them up throughout the podcast if they pop up.
Sweet.
Anything that sticks out. Yeah.
I was thinking if we ever localize in German, we'll have to hit you up. Get those quest guys remade.
Yeah.
It could be fun. Yeah, absolutely.
Redub. We got to talk about Gillanor Games.
Sure.
Probably quite a lot throughout this.
I'm sure a lot of people would love to. Yeah.
When did it first, like the seed of it entered your mind, and how long did it go from that to it happening?
Yeah, so in the summer of 2019, I watched a show called The Challenge, which is on MTV. Gillanor Games is very heavily based on it. There's challenges, there's eliminations. I'd always watched Survivor, like a season or two of Survivor, and I'm always like, this could work on old school. And I remember a month before 2019 RuneFest, I'm actually really happy it happened then and not in 2020, which is when COVID happened and everything. So I remember I pitched the idea to creators at RuneFest in 2019 in that lounge back in the day, and I was like, do you want to be on the show I'm thinking of doing? And everybody said yes because they're like, sure. We filmed from November to I think it was May of 2020. So November 2019 to May 2020, we got that first season done. It was fun. It was super fun, but it was kind of just like a pilot. Like I was like, let's do some challenges. And I still remember the first challenge we ever did on the show was a hard mode Chambers of Zarek, which to this day is like the hardest challenge we've ever done. But I remember the first filming session was like 4.5 hours.
Wow.
And people at the time didn't know what it was going to be. Like they just thought it was a fun RuneScape challenge series, which was happening at the time. But the entire idea I had at the time was it was going to emulate a TV show. So confessionals, licensing music, trying to create like an entire season narrative storyline out of it. And then it's just season to season, it grew and grew. And I guess here we are now. So yeah, I'm really happy it worked out.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
It's honestly such a cool story because to have taken that concept and essentially ran with it as a pilot and not really explaining it to anyone, but you had this vision.
Yeah.
And it clearly paid off. You mentioned, you had 4.
Guys, me and Soup are not related just because we're bald, okay? Doesn't mean we look alike. Let's take it easy, huh?
4.5 hour recording session, and the first season from, was it November to May you were recording?
Yes.
Like Gillanor Games has a huge amount of production that goes behind it, behind the scenes that people don't see. What's one of the biggest things you think that people maybe don't realize about Gillanor Games and getting to the point where you are, where you have a final season to actually showcase?
Just going off this recent season 5, we started the concept for the format and what should we do for the season January of last year. So 2025 January was when we started. And then it was 2 months of like planning the season. Like, what should the format be? What should the twist be? What should the challenges be? Because we plan all the challenges and eliminations beforehand. And then that's even before we even start filming. So we have to get all that sorted. And then it's filming, which for this past season was April until September. So another 7 months or so.
Wow.
And the biggest thing I always see is, oh, but all the people who are on the season are full time. They can just take the day off. I'm like, no, like that doesn't work. People have lives, people have families, people have dentist appointments, right? So
yeah, exactly.
Time zones are
people.
So
together.
we have, I mean, on average, I would say we film once every 3 weeks, that's the one time we can manage to get it to work. I'd love to do it earlier, but people do it in their free time. That's the thing. I don't pay them to do it, right? So I can't ever be like, why can't you do it today? I'm like, okay, we'll find a time that works, because I want to truly schedule around everybody's lives and not have them schedule around GG.
Schedule everybody, man.
Which people could say, like, I do still have to schedule
Very
around.
tough.
I do
Hardest
ask
part
people,
of Soup's
if you
job,
can make
probably.
make time. But that is still, we do 12 sessions. And
Hardest part of Soup's job is getting 12, 15 content creators to log into the game for 30 minutes at the same time and be ready to just have 30 minutes of their life dedicated to that. And that's why he can't do a lot of these crazy challenges. Like he said, the 4-hour challenge back in the day, he learned his lesson from that and realized you have to design challenges that are meant to take only 30 minutes of people's time. And then you have 30 minutes of footage from 20 different content creators that you have to cut up into a 1-hour episode. And then he's going in and recreating that with he's adding music, they're adding visual effects, they're literally recreating some scenes to make them more cinematic. They're doing that in some kind of, I don't even know what editing software they're doing that in, where they're going in and like recreating that runway that we did in the Gillanor games. That scene never happened. They added a whole crowd in there. Yeah, him and Ali go in and they recreate scenes. It's a very heavy production that a lot of people will never really understand how much goes into the work that he does, and it's amazing.
7 months. So it's that already right there. The 2 months of planning, the 7 months of scheduling. That's nine months already. That's just on pre-production and the filming. And then we have the post-production, which is a whole another beast. So it's a lot that goes into it, but I think I've always said on stream and on videos, it's just so worth it. Like when the season comes out and this Twitch chat reactions, social reactions, the comments, it's just the best. So, and I'm passionate about it.
Yeah.
Like I'm just very passionate about it. So
it definitely shows.
Thanks. Yeah,
but you're right. It's a monumental moment for the community because everyone comes together. It's like everyone's anticipating the first episode coming out, and then from there, socials just booming the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm admittedly 2 episodes behind at the moment, and I'm trying to avoid spoilers. You gave me a spoiler. You were like, oh, it's fine.
I did.
It's
I
not.
did give you
It's
a
not going to
spoiler.
matter because it's out now. I'm like, yeah, well, I haven't
But
watched
it wasn't
it.
aimed at you. That was aimed at the viewers.
Yeah,
who might complain about
I know.
spoilers.
Yeah.
But,
So my bad. I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's fine.
You
Don't
literally
worry.
said you were behind, and I just forgot.
Yeah, I
In the
know.
moment.
Yeah.
I know. Don't worry about it. It's all good. But yeah, no, the passion definitely shows. I think it's incredible. I love to see everyone coming together and the fact that you just kind of like, you've made something of this now. It's like a staple.
Yeah.
I imagine that you're going to want to continue doing Gillanor games. Is that what you see in the future? More of those?
100%. I feel like I'm so passionate about creator collaboration. I
Yeah.
think it's just, if there's one thing I love, it's just being in a call with people, the other creators. Like we don't ever really do it aside from when Solo runs an event or when I do Gillanor games. And people, I always notice they always stick around after the filming, like just to chat,
just chatting
like just
away.
talking.
Yeah.
And it's so much fun. So for me, even if Gillanor Games doesn't come back in a seasonal format like we have now, doing like a Gillanor Games, like not All Stars, but Gillanor Games Legends, like a 6-episode miniseries,
Okay.
Awesome.
or just like a weekend Gillanor Games event. Just the name Gillanor Games, I want to have that associated with just competitive, intense RuneScape events involving creators, involving fans sometimes, maybe, who knows, that just showcases the best of everybody's abilities, and then involving the post-production, like truly having it emulate movies, like shows, and just having that be a part of it. I think I'm happy people like it. It was a bit of a risk at the time, especially because the episodes were long. Like, would anybody watch a 1-hour RuneScape competition series? Like those are long
Especially in this
episodes.
current climate with long form content. You know, a lot of us are brain rot scrolling, and short form content is king at the moment, right? I know that the platforms are pushing.
Dude, Are we ever just going to have a rebellion over short form content and just decide that it's bad for society and we all just rebel and stop watching it and we all go back to long form content and we make long form content great again? That could possibly happen. If Gen Z leads the charge on that, they'd have to be the ones to do it. We could just like low key self ban short form content on all of humanity. That might be the best thing for us.
Pushing that heavily too.
Yeah, and I always try to obviously
Make
the
long form
interesting thing
content
about
great
the
again.
new AI generation is AI can't emulate RuneScape content. It's just not a thing. Like we're not gonna have an AI RuneScape content creator. It's just not possible. Like I don't think it's gonna be a thing. So for me, I just want to stick with. We have artists on the show who are RuneScape players. People making the graphics, people, the players on the show, obviously, it just has to be all RuneScape community, and I just want to always have them involved. So
Anything other than Gillanor Games in the works at all, or any other ideas or concepts, or maybe even you've tried something, you've brought on creators, you've done some recording, hasn't worked out. I'd love to hear more about some other stuff like that.
yeah, for the most part, everything I've ever done, creation, collaboration wise, it's come out because I'm like, I have to make something of it.
Sure.
If I do like a 10-hour filming session or like project, just canceling it is just, I would feel really bad about that.
Sure.
But I have, obviously with Xanaris, right? It hurts to bring up, but there was a lot of potential ideas there. That being said, having spoken to people at this event this past week, what was done on Xanaris can still be used for things like.
Who would ever want to watch AI play a video game? Right now, I believe the highest hype train ever on Twitch was from an AI streamer. So the most amount of money like ever given was to an AI stream. So that gives to show you that it's already happening.
Like Gillanor Games, when we do something like an IRL Gillanor Games in the future, whether that's a collaboration like Big Brother style Gillanor Games, where we're all in a house together and we do unique challenges.
The thing is, guys, you underestimate the power of AI to manipulate emotion. When you can incite emotion, whether it's laughter, whether it's sadness, or a mixture of the two, then you can manipulate humans. So if you think AI is funny, you will naturally like AI. If it makes you laugh, it makes you feel something. And we've all had that AI hype train that made us laugh at Showback. And every single one of you laughed at that. And if you said that you didn't, you are lying. So for a certain point, even if it was just that, you have laughed at AI making fun of Showback. And so now some small part of you liked AI for that brief moment. So AI will learn how to keep that moment rolling in human emotion, and it will figure out how to make you like it. So whether you don't like it now, AI will figure out how to make you like it. AI is smarter than us. Eventually, we will all like AI, and it's just coming. It's just coming. And when I say we all, there might be a couple people. But I'm speaking for like the general humanity and population, the generalized, most people. I think. That's what I think.
Challenges. That to me is how I kind of see the future of it. So I can't say anything's ever failed because we've always made something
thank you very
of
much
it.
for tier 1.
Some challenges we've never done before, or some bannings and eliminations I would probably take back if I could. But it's all experimental, right? So I think people like seeing that too. Like people like seeing the different variations of challenges and elimination stuff that we've done. So I think for me, if I were to create something that would never come out, I'd feel bad. I can honestly say anything we've ever done, at least I'm thinking of right now, it's never been canceled or pushed back or never came out.
It sounds like you approach it from such like the level of pre-production. It sounds great. So it's not like you turn up, film, and like, oh, it didn't work out. But because you've already done your research, already done your planning, so it's going to amount to something at least. Yeah,
and these days, you have obligations with sponsorships and you have deadlines you have to hit, right? So it's like before doing a challenge or before filming a video, you have to be like, this has to work. I can't not have this work, or you're going to be panicking last second to make it work. So especially for Gillanor Games, when I'm like, okay, it's going to come out on this day and it's going to be every week for 12 weeks, I have to make sure everything is that was done for. And I have to give a shout out to Allie, who is my co-producer, who
brilliant.
helps out with almost everything now. So she's just as much involved as I am. She actually, without her, I wouldn't be able to do it. So yeah, but she, as a duo together, we've really been tackling it. And yeah, that's the other thing is it's only two of us doing it.
Allie.
We have
Allie puts in
working
work
on the graphics and the thumbnails and stuff like that. But when it comes to the editing and the proof checking, we have some people helping out with proof checking. But it's a 2-person show mainly right now. So to come out with that is, and I'm sure you guys can understand, it's really hard to give up creative control to somebody else, especially in the editing process. When you have a vision of how it's going to be, it's like you have to do it yourself or do it with somebody you really trust. And thankfully I found her where I really trust to do it. But anybody else, I'm like, I can't.
Yeah,
I have a vision for it.
You got to look after it.
Yeah, and I'm also just like, I can't just go on Fiverr and say, looking for RuneScape reality TV editor. Like it's just
it's
not
a very niche
it's
thing that you're putting
extremely
out there,
niche,
yeah.
right? So, but I'm hoping that people watching it will inspire them to create stuff like that as well. And then I can be like, people can come to me and be like, hey, how do you do this? And then I can give tips, give advice, and then see more of it. Because I think there should be more of it. I will say the one thing that is just a ton of work. So you have to be willing to put in a ton of work to do it. But for me at the time, it made sense. And thankfully it grew to what it is now. But yeah, it is a fun, but a lot of work, which is RuneScape in a nutshell, right? So
That's pretty true.
Yeah.
How closely do you have to control the narrative, or at least like shape a narrative? Is it mostly organic and the creators are creating the content and like, Solar Mission plays the snake and everything else falls into place? Or is there a bit more behind the scenes where you have to you're choosing the right kind of clips to sew it all together?
The best thing about the show is that the creators are the best.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody, you guys know how many amazing creators there are. Like, it's just, my job becomes easy when I have 20 people come onto the season. This season, everybody came on, and our first confessionals, the interviews we filmed with each other, they're like, I came in with this plan. I'm like, you did all this just to be on the show? Like, alliances, like, people spent hours, like, there was a rookie alliance on this past season, and they told me that for every day they would send each other hide and seek locations to practice for the show, and I'm like, that warms my heart, like just to hear that, because they want to put on a good show. Like, so in that case, my job becomes easy because I just have to edit the content together and the narratives and the storylines. There's no like fake storylines. Like, none of this is fabricated. This is all truly what happened. And the only job we have on our end is when do we want the storylines to begin? When do we want them to end? When should they happen? When should they stop? And what should we leave out? That's the hardest thing. Another behind the scenes thing is I film an interview. Episode 1 is 20 people. I have to get into a call with those 20 people and interview them about the first episode. I probably ask on average about 20 questions. So that's 400 questions that we then have to transcribe.
Did you see Gillanor Games working in a WoW format? Oh, man. WoW is so limited on professions, because everyone usually has 2 professions. Some people don't have any. So you would be limited, like hide and seek. There are some games that would work, like hide and seek would work. It's like, what is this location? Okay, go there as fast as you can. But the problem with it is that mages would have an advantage. Mages can port themselves to every city. So the classes wouldn't be fair unless everybody was a mage. Or no ports were allowed. I guess you could make no ports allowed. You could do no ports, no Hearthstones. But there's no instant travel. So if it was like they took a screenshot of, let's say, Shimmering Flats, and everybody's like, oh, I think that's Shimmering Flats, or I think that's Tanaris, and they start flying there, then you're like on the flight path for 15 minutes. That's the show. You know? So it's there's not a lot of fast travel in WoW. And so you're so much more limited in World of Warcraft with the classes, the professions, the traveling is slower. You would really have to think outside the box. I mean, I before I even knew what Gillanor Games was, I hosted a Gillanor Games show. I didn't realize it at the time, but I've already hosted a Gillanor Games in WoW, and I called it the Squid Games. So I basically reenacted a lot of Squid Games challenges. Some of them I made up, and I did that for OTK Top Streamer Competition Challenge, where I hosted basically Gillanor Games inside of WoW. We did a level 1 race on hardcores to the top of Ironforge. We did a red light, green light contest. We did a jump of death contest, which was everyone had to jump, make this jump across a chain in the wetlands, which is a very niche jump that you have to make, and you have to jump on an invisible chain to make it across. And if you miss the jump, you are eliminated. And so we've done that. I've done kind of a little bit of Gillanor Games. So it does work. It doesn't work as well, but it does work. And it's mainly like level 1s trying to survive death runs, or races or jump competitions. Those are like the things that really worked in WoW from my experience. The stuff that Soup does, the challenges that Soup does, are way beyond what you can pull off in WoW, and it's not a 1-to-1, that's for sure. But you can kind of make it work. We've also done hide and seek, and we've done that in OnlyFans. We've done hide and seek in OnlyFans, which kind of worked okay as well. So like legitimate hide and seek, where somebody goes and hides, and everybody goes and hides, and one seeker turns off their UI, and they have to try and mouse over where everybody is. And you use the environment to try and like lay inside of it and stuff. What about gearing up from shops? You'd have to do it all inside of a major city, because anything that was like, you have to go there, go here, go there, there's no fast travel. So that would just take too long. Unless it was in a newer version of WoW where the portals are like in Shatrath. So if it was in TBC, you might be able to pull off a bit more.
Into a Google Docs, write down, and then we use about 150 of them, 100 to 150. So that's 250 answers that are just never seen, which is sad because a lot of them are great, but there's a time limit, right? And I have to use the best voice lines to fit the best, what truly fits the narrative of the show the best.
OSRS
but you have
Room.
people
I've
like,
seen the one that
of course,
Soup
I gotta
does.
shout out Solo Mission, who you can't not watch a Solo Mission confessional. He's just so into it. You can tell he's smiling. He's so happy.
You can hear it in his voice.
And you can hear it. And people have gotten really good. Season 1 compared to season 5, really like just upping their game, making their, everything intense, really going from a casual game show to oh my gosh, like there's a lot on the line.
But I mean, you're credit to that as well, or you and Ali, I suppose, in terms of like building that up and making it more and more, polishing it more, adding more production, and it creates this going from your initial proof to this is a fully fledged show. It's an entertainment piece, and like people have seen season 1, 2, 3 for the success of those, and yeah, I would take it super serious if I was to guest as well, just because like you deserve that as well.
Thanks.
And I love that our creators, the community, are so willing to be involved and just do that.
Yeah,
the personalities this season are so fun.
Yeah,
like,
it's been
amazing.
Really great.
It's Will was just so dejected and like burned every time.
That man is
Skill
an
Specs'
enigma.
confessionals are so funny to me because it was a
Soup man.
Soup. I'm so excited to talk to you. It's like an excited dog. Like, it's great.
The best thing is that I've had new people on every season, like 8 to 10 new people every
Skill
season.
Specs is an
It just
excited
shows how many
dog.
creators there are.
Yes.
I've worked with like almost 70 creators now on the show.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And each one of them is like awesome. I mean, the hardest part you could say is the casting, because I have to invite new people and then not invite some people back, right? And I feel bad, but that's just kind of how we've evolved the show over the years. But the fact that I can still to this day have new people on, and then have people like Potato, for example, recently was awesome on this recent season. And she just told me she's had great feedback from everybody. She has new people come to her stream. And she's a recent creator for the most part. So to still have new creators
like
coming,
Potato.
and I could say I could have new people
She's a
coming
really
on every
nice
season.
person.
This gives me confidence. And the fact the game is growing, of course, as well. I'm just like, yeah, this could go on for a long time. So that makes me happy.
I've noticed too that there are people who don't necessarily play RuneScape but are aware of creators, and like they either watch, they've seen Swamp Ledix and they've seen Odablock and they've seen Gillanor Games. So that must be quite cool too to see like your content being discussed by
Which is
celebs and stuff.
Which is crazy going from my past, which was I used to be the quest guide and the I love the guy in the RuneScape live stream, which I'm sure was going to get brought up at some point. I love the which is the behind the scenes for that is funny.
Like a YouTube title, like I love the guy.
yeah.
I love the guy.
You
Right?
might have to put a little asterisk in it. But
Yeah.
What the heck
Seth
are they
Mudrun
even
in
saying?
the back, just screaming, like just really, really bad. Yeah. So it was like a relief on my end, because that RuneFest where I pitched Gillanor Games to the creators, I was the quest guide, like the bad quest guide guy. I was the the guy who screamed on the RuneScape live stream guy. That's generally what I was.
I've never
so I always
seen
felt
that.
a little bit like, I'm not going to say out of place, but I'm like, what's my place in the community? Like, I don't want to be known as this guy. So for me, I was like, I have to make a drastic change. For me, that drastic change was creating a reality show at RuneScape, which again, I think I have sacrificed a lot to do it. But for me, career-wise and even just confidence-wise, like I completely
I've
changed
never
my
heard
life.
of that.
So it was the best thing I've ever done.
hear.
Other than being here talking to you guys. So yeah.
You're very
Obviously,
sweet.
Yeah.
I have a few questions. We can probably just like quick fire them. I'm interested to hear you were talking about how, you know, like 400 questions, you only take 150 of them. Really difficult thing to do. Are there any seasons that you look back on where you didn't include something and you really regret not including that now? Like if you were to make a director's cut with one of the most hilarious moments that never made it, what would that have been?
Every skill specs confessional. Honestly, like that man has the best confessionals. It is truly just, I could put him in. People just love his confessionals as well. And there's just storylines that aren't shown sometimes, you know, like just small storylines that it truly sucks because they are storylines that I think people would like, but they're just cut for time. Like I think season 3, when Solo Mission had his like truly like his biggest big snake season, he did a ton of stuff behind the scenes that was never shown, showing how much he was controlling the game. And I could only show so much of it because I'm like, this is all props to him. I have to show other people as well. Like I can't just show Solo Mission, right? So people,
Solo Mission games.
yeah, because I do want to be fair. I want to try to get everybody in every episode for a little bit of time at least. Some people are the main characters of every episode as well, right? But there's always small storylines that for me are hard to kind of remember at the time right now. But just going back, being like, okay, this person's maybe behind the scenes alliance with this other person just wasn't shown because it didn't really fit time wise, or it wasn't important, which is hard to say important because everything's important for the show. But just like any, I guess, show, things have to be cut and we just have to make that
Of
executive
course.
decision.
Yeah.
But I think for the most part, we do a great job at showing as much as we can in the limited time we have, because
Solo Mission's a
the
genius,
hard thing is
bro.
this isn't in real life.
You guys know Solo Mission almost won. He got second place in the Dead Man Annihilation final. Dude, this guy is just the champion of winning everything. He does not lose. Somehow he almost wins everything he participates in. He is the actual GOAT.
So I can't this isn't like Big Brother or Survivor where I can like hold a camera and show two people talking in the background together. It's all from the confessionals and like the B-roll shots being like, okay, Skill Specs is talking with Torvestan. It's just their RuneScape characters standing next to each other, right? There's nothing
In
there.
silence.
But that's where we have to kind of slide that in. So
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. And then I guess on the flip side, instead of like a funny moment, was there a moment where you thought, oh shit, this is going to ruin everything unless we fix it, or cut it, remove it? This is a problem.
This is a crazy behind the scenes actually that people might not know about. In season 3, there was a pretty famous elimination. Bodhi and Solo Mission against Eviescape and Bodhi and Foe against Eviescape and Solo Mission. It's the Mountain Daughter shot when the camera pans up and they're like, oh my god, Bodhi and Foe won.
Cinema.
That round almost never happened because that was supposed to be the round before. When I went to the hide and seek location, I went to the wrong world.
Oh.
So they raced to me, got to me, and I think, I don't remember who won, but they're like, we're here, like I won. And I was in the wrong world. So I realized that in the moment, I'm like, oh my God, like I just they're going to hate me. I ruined this entire episode. And then thankfully they're all professionals. And I'm like, guys, like, I'm so sorry. Can we agree to a new location? And then it led to that shot, which was like, people would say the most iconic shot of the show of all time. So it worked out.
So it was like a happy little
So
accident.
it was a happy ever after, but I remember in the moment just being like, oh my gosh, this is going to ruin everything.
So the
Thankfully,
initial like stress just like hit and panic coming in.
Thankfully, we say this all the time. We fix it in post. Like there's so much behind the scenes where things go wrong and we have to on the spot fix it.
Did you get to hang out with Solo Mission much at UK? There was like 50 content creators there. So whenever you have a ton of people, it's really hard to even talk to everyone. And Solo Mission, like randomly, you go to lunch and it's just like you sit down at a table and it's like whoever's there, like that's who you kind of vibe with. I didn't really even stick to like the WoW creators. I wanted to experience talking to like new people and everything. Even though it was my first time meeting Joker and Guzu, and me and Savix flew out there together. So like the other WoW creators kind of stuck together a lot, and I was kind of branching out and sitting with other people because I was trying to experience time with everybody. but Solo Mission is not like one of the people that I sat next to randomly over the course of the 3 days. So I never got to have, like, I didn't sit next to him at dinner. I sat next to Curtis at dinner, and Ryan, the RS3 guy, the RuneScape guy, he sat next to me at the presentation. So I got to talk a lot to him. I spent a lot of time with Odablock and Greg, and Foe. Me and Foe shared a taxi over, and Zizaran, we shared a taxi over there. Who else? Framed, we shared a taxi over there. So these are some of the guys that I got to like talk to, interact with, and like be around. I played a lot of pool with Odablock and Foe every night. Megan, I got to talk to Megan for a bit. Skill Specs, a little bit of talking with Skill Specs and Dino, but like there was, like I said, there's so many people there. Bodie, I spent a lot of time with Bodie because me and him were in a Uber together, and Jesse was super nice. Really, really like Jessie. She's so nice. But like those are the people I think that I spent the most amount of time with or got to connect with the most, and like that was only like 10 people of the 50 that were there. So, yeah. Mod Ash, we talked to him for a little bit, but dude, Mod Ash has been talking to everybody. Like, there wasn't much room to talk to Mod Ash. Like they said, when there's that many people, you're kind of just like whatever conversation is happening, you just jump in it, and you just try to get in there. But it's very, very tough to create a conversation with everybody. It would just be like would you rather have 5 or 10 like deeper level conversations or a surface level convo with everybody? So you kind of have to pick and choose what you want to do.
This recent episode, I'll shout out Vertoso. I'll give him I'll put him on the bus here a little bit, but there's elimination where you had to teleport to a random spot and try to die as fast as possible. One of the locations was the Aranya altar, and we gave them an Aranya teleport tab, and he didn't have the quest on to use the tab. So when I traded him the tab, he clicked on it, could not teleport there. So I had to spam, pause everything. We had to get him there. We had to reset up the timing, the shot and everything. And then I had to make sure like everything was timing wise correct as it was before. But then you never notice that in the episode because we fix it in post, right? We make it look seamless, which is our job at the end of the day. But we try to limit that when it comes to the challenges because we don't want that to happen often. But there's small things like that happen. So yeah, shout out Jen, by the way.
I remember the time where I helped you guys out with the Chambers of Zero thing. I came in as a JMod and you all got a combat achievement.
Yes, we did.
I was like, whoops.
Yeah, we ran through and I'm like, Isaac, he helped me out. Like, we need to spam. And the funny thing was, do you remember during that?
Yeah.
Your JMod powers like didn't even work.
Yeah, they were broken as hell.
Ulm.
Yeah, so I had to like give myself, I think I gave myself 99,000 strength so that I could try and like one hit, but then it didn't work with like range.
It kept resetting your stats. I'm like, this is a JMod account. Like this should be able to work, which is crazy.
It turns out that there was actually an infinitely better way to do that. I just didn't know of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I got mocked by the staff the next day when I told them what had happened. They were like, why didn't you just do this? And I was like, well, I didn't know that was a thing.
That's so funny. Well, I appreciate it because that was the first time actually that JMod had like intervention had been a thing. So for you to do that was awesome.
No, it was really cool.
Mod Ash was probably like, oh, well, why didn't you just do this command? And that would have allowed you to do this before you could do this. And that's quite a clever thing, because isn't that the game of RuneScape? Well, I've got to go now. I've got to get to work.
To be involved whenever we can. Like, we love helping out with the community and the events, and like Gillanor Games is so special to all of us. So,
Yo, Cornpole, thank you very much for the prime.
Hey, who knows? Maybe we should do a Gillanor Games JMod edition.
I would love that. Yeah. Or even a one-off episode. Like, we did the World of Warcraft
just like a spin-off
games thing.
Exactly.
Just a spin-off.
That would be fun, wouldn't it?
We should do that on the main channel, like the old school channel again. I think
that'd be very fun.
I think that would do really well.
I mean, sure, let's make that happen. I would love to do it. I know that everyone, so many people would want to. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
That'd be super
So
cool.
I just kind of like threw that into you now.
Yeah. Would you guys do that? Would you want to be a part of that?
Oh, absolutely.
100%.
Beautiful.
Hell yeah.
You wait for my...
I thought about it.
Like, wait for my confessional. I'll wrap this one out.
We'll do confessionals. Yeah, you guys can be part of the... We'll do like the 20 answers, see what gets cut and everything. Yeah. You guys will see what it's like. Yeah. It'll be fun.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Sweet, yeah. Let's do it. Locked in, video idea, done.
We'll get the YouTube comments for this episode. Tell us what JMods they want to see take
Ooh,
part.
yeah, let us know.
Ooh, yes. Feel free to engage bait as much as you want for this, by the way. just whatever comment bait you guys want, I'm up for it. I get it. Just title is just Gillanor
Is anybody
Games
thinking of the
secrets
Prime?
leaked or something like that.
So
you know,
a
like-
possible bait question then.
yeah.
Have there ever been any confessionals where like it's a bit heated and you've had to kind of tone it down or cut it out? Has there ever been like a really negative reaction to a challenge or what's happened? RNG?
It does get heated on the show in the moment, like
Yeah.
when we're filming, because not that people hate each other, people are just competitive.
course.
Like
Yeah.
people want to win, and there is a lot on the line. Like if I will say, if there's one thing I've been really happy to get people on the show is like a truly unique experience of like heart racing. Oh my gosh, if I get out, I lose a lot of money. I am out of the show. Like this is a great opportunity to give people that kind of pressure that maybe you don't get anywhere else other than like Inferno or like Lake and Quiver or something like that is like really cool to me. So there is in the moment, like if somebody skirts the rules a little bit, cheating a little bit, using the wiki when they shouldn't, like I have to kind of make on the spot decisions. And then most of the time we film the confessionals a day to 7 days after filming, and a lot of people have calmed down. They look at it from a different perspective. But for the show, there a lot of people are like, you know, I hate this guy, like as a joke,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But obviously I use a lot of dramatic music in the show. So a dramatic music playing behind like, oh, Solo's a snake. People are like, oh yeah, Solo's a snake, you know, something like that. So it's there is heat, but there's never, I don't think anybody's ever like come out of the show being like, I hate this person because of it.
No, like
But
genuine animosity. It's just like in
No.
the moment, competitive. You know,
Yeah.
that
at the end of the day,
rush gets ahead of you, kind of thing.
my favorite phrase is like people understand the assignment. Like it is a competitive RuneScape show, but
It's a good
it's
analogy.
entertainment like first at the end of the day. And that's what, again, I say shout out Solo
Or
Mission,
good
but he
saying,
like
rather.
understood that early and then settled like in season 4 was just amazing. His storyline was awesome. And everybody else as well on the show is just so good at creating that kind of content. So again, my job's easy in that sense because they make it easy for me to piece the stuff together.
Going back, you used to do like a lot of, I watched you ranting about Squill of Fortune
Oh my gosh.
14
yeah.
years ago.
Way back.
So obviously there's a clear love for old school.
Yeah.
How often do you get to play and what do you do in game, like as a player?
Yeah, I mean, realistically, I can't do as much as I want because, like I said, Gillanor Games is a year-long production. That takes up almost all my time. When it comes to post-production editing, I'm editing 14 hours a day for 2.5 months. So to be able to be here and talk to you guys is a nice break from it. But that's why my content in the off season of GG is fun money making stuff, clue scroll videos, which are, I want them to be entertaining. I'd like for them to be watchable, but they can't take up too much of my time. So that's why for me doing stuff like guides on how to make money after I did a Yama release video where I told people you can make money on Infernal Shards and Oath Play and stuff like that. And that was a video I could put together in like under a week, but it didn't take up too much of my time and still be, in my opinion, fun to watch and enjoyable for the viewers. And of course, you always want, at the end of the day, you're always thinking of viewership too. You have to make sure it kind of hits your minimum and it's worth putting out and stuff like that. So but the best thing about being in the off season is I can then hit the stuff I want to hit. So this past off season, I got Quiver. In the off season, season 4, I got Infernal
Let's
Cape.
go.
So I kind of set a goal and I achieved that goal in the off season. And then I kind of, that's my time to play. So I'm excited for like leagues is happening after the season. I can play a bunch of leagues and everything. But I understand at the end of the day, my business is a channel. My channel is a business. I have a brand. It's been nice because it's given me structure where I have to be like, okay, I can have my fun time, but then I have my GG time. I have my video time. And I think that's,
Dude, this is so real, man. Like YouTube, when you have to start filming and editing and preparing and then doing pre-production, it's like filming a full-on show like this is so much work. It prevents you from playing. And I think that people underestimate like how much free time Soup has to play the game, even though his life is Gillanor Games basically, and it's RuneScape. He doesn't actually get to play because he has so much time invested in the production of the show. His life is production, not RuneScape. And people, I don't know if everyone really grasps that, but the fact that it's cool that he gets to play in the off season, he does not get to play at all when he's working.
if I had to give advice to anybody, it's definitely make sure you structure your content if you do decide to go full time, to make sure you have your fun time, but treat it as a business. I think as everybody should if they're going into it full hardcore. So yeah.
Maybe segue then into what we like to do when we talk to creators is what advice would you give generally? So let's say somebody has been thinking about going live or making their very first video but haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
Is there anything, especially in 2026, YouTube is very different to when you started.
It is.
What kind of advice would you seek to offer?
The level, I'll speak to YouTube because it's my main thing, but the level of YouTube has just grown substantially. You guys have seen it, you've been around for a while. I mean, when you see the production value of certain things, it's just like, how do I even enter this space But you shouldn't look at it as how can I create the highest quality thing right off the bat. It's how can I create consistent content that I have fun with, that fills a medium that nobody's done yet, or fills a medium that somebody's done. It's just my own spin on it. At the end of the day, the best way to grow is to create content. You can't just not make videos because you're not going to get subscribers. So don't lock yourself behind the highest quality first thing you ever could have done. If it doesn't hit the numbers you want, you burn out and you don't upload anymore. You have to start at a level where you can do it consistently. Consistency is the biggest thing I have to say ever.
Dude, this is a great advice, man.
It doesn't have to be every day. It doesn't have to be every week. But if it's like a once a month thing, if viewers know you're going to upload once a month at a certain time, they're going to come back. They're going to watch your content. So for RuneScape in general, the best thing is that it's a sandbox. You can create your own journey, you can create your own adventure. There's a ton of content, even though it feels like there's...
Guys, this is, I can only use my own reference for this because you have to use what you know. But my content, like my videos, they could be much higher production value, but I don't have the time to maintain that. So I've chosen to sacrifice production value so I can put out a certain amount of content, like my one video per month. Because if I try to raise the bar on the production, I start adding in like Gillanor Games scene reenactments and like crazy camera moves and stuff like that, that'll bring up the production value, like montages primarily showing me killing a boss 1,000 times and like really adding in those Gillanor Games animated scenes into the production. I would have to take more days off of streaming. And so the cause and effect of like me taking more days off of streaming doesn't add up necessarily financially. So like the production value, like there's this give and take that you're always weighing of what is it worth me to take another day off of streaming to try and learn that skill or pay somebody that extra money to do that particular segment for me to raise the production value. And ultimately you have to just trial and error that. And if it doesn't work like one time, then most of the time you're like, oh, that $500 I just paid that editor, it wasn't worth it because I didn't even make $500 off the video. So it's a lot of like balancing what's worth it for you, production value wise, time wise, etc.
There's nothing left to make. There's always something new. People always come up with stuff. Another thing people say is emulate somebody else's content. If you enjoy Solomish's content, Settled's content, Bodhi's content, Jimmy's content, Frame's content, do what they're doing, but do it differently. Don't do it exactly, but do it differently. People are gonna be like, oh, this guy reminds me of this person. I want to follow his journey because it's enjoyable stuff. So I think that's great. I will also say when it comes to streaming, maybe this is my hot take, but I think you should always do YouTube before streaming.
Okay.
I think streaming is a good way to start. But if there's one thing I will say is your videos are up forever. If you shout out your YouTube, your Twitch on your YouTube video, people will always see that. Drives viewers to your stream. I think there's a ton of people who grew on Twitch because they had a YouTube audience.
Soup is killing it right now
from that. And they've grown it from there. So
best advice
take advantage of both. I think that's the best thing I could say.
That's really good advice.
Yeah,
actually.
Yeah, and
really
it's
solid.
And if you'll be on Gillanor Games, maybe who knows? One day if you keep growing. So yeah, we'll see. So yeah,
true.
It's
dude, guys. One in the chat. If you are here from seeing one of my YouTube videos first, 316 people are watching on YouTube. Like, a lot of the people that are watching the stream right now have probably come from one of the YouTube videos, which is crazy.
It's kind of funny being like, because I would say obviously I'm part of the older generation now. Like I grew up with Framed. Like Framed, Goody, and I were friends in 2010, like 11. We grew up together on the old school RuneScape, or the pre-EOC and old school YouTube scene, and then we're part of that generation. And then you have like the second generation. I kind of see it as like that's when Solo Mission and Settled started.
That's a lot of people.
And now we have this newer generation of like Chunkman, like Josh is in gaming and all these, and then Alien Food, all these guys who are now growing. I'm like, there's gonna be another generation. Like there will be forever, I think. So it's exciting to see.
So the kind of friendships you referenced, and I know also I guess a lot of the Gillanor Games crew you're friends with and stuff. Do you collaborate much in terms of like sharing ideas or helping each other refine their ideas?
Yeah, I try to reach out as much as possible to people. Like for this past season, I reached out to, I did like play tests more than ever before for this past season. I actually reached out to Mod Knox. He play tested our PVM challenge this season because I'm limited to in terms of skill. Like I'll admit that. Like I'm not a PVM god, right? At the end of the day, so I need a PVM god to test the challenges for me. So I have to reach out for the escape room. We had settled and frame test the escape room and stuff like that.
Nice.
When players, it's kind of funny when players are even not on a season, I still reach out to them for feedback, and they're great at even being like, yeah, I'm not in the show, but I want to make it, help you out with it. So without collaboration, without DMing other people, it would be really hard on my end.
Guys, the RuneScape creators, I am 100% confident if I reached out to any RuneScape creator that they would get back to me and help me if I had a question. This community is unbelievably helpful and like just like caring in general. They all want to see each other succeed. All the people that I've met, especially all the people at the Jagex meetup, is a really fantastic group of creators in the OSRS section. They are awesome.
And reaching out to Jagex has been awesome this past year, getting your guys' feedback, working with you guys. So I'll do it forever. Like it's definitely the best thing I think I can do. So yeah.
What was the inspiration for the Hopper?
RNG.
Yeah,
Gambling.
No, it's gambling. Yeah.
It came from a show. It came from a show I watched where they had a variation of it. They actually used ping pong balls, and it came from a ping pong ball spun around, and then a name popped up. The one thing with Gillanor Games is I try to have every season be its own unique season. I can't do the same thing over and over. So this season we did the social game came back, voting came back, and I'm like, how can I just not have it where the person who gets the most votes goes in? We've done that twice before. It would be boring if we did it again. So I'm like, you know what? Let's do a system where RNG plays a thing. And it's RNG where the odds are still in the favor of the person who has the most votes. It still makes sense. But if you lose a challenge and you have an undefendable vote on your name, you can still go in, which, spoiler alert at this point, but it happened this season, which was crazy to see. So it was, to me, the obvious next choice of, maybe not the obvious, but to me, it made the most sense of maybe what should come next. And to see it happen, the Twitch chat reactions are awesome whenever the Hopper's spinning and a name pops up. And I think RuneScape players can be like, RNG. I mean, RuneScape, it's an RNG game. It almost makes sense. So yeah, that's the tough thing, because I know
like
some
the
people
RNG
don't
element.
maybe necessarily like it, but my hope is always that people
Hopper
can
was
appreciate
brilliant.
the thought that went into it, and hopefully appreciate the level of the amount of time that goes into hopefully producing it. And that's why every season, hopefully you can have season 2 be your favorite. Season 1 might be somebody's favorite, but as long as each season's unique and has their own identity, that's kind of the goal at the end of the day. So, and I think this season with, as Oda says, the Hopper, like I think that alone gives it to it. So yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
So we've spoken a lot about Gillanor Games and RuneScape, but I'm kind of curious actually to just flip it completely around. Who is Soup outside of YouTube? What do you do?
Oh, you know what's funny? There's not much outside of RuneScape.
Don't worry, you're not the only person to have said that.
That is sadly a lot of us. I think that RuneScape is most of our lives. And you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way. RuneScape and WoW for me, but obviously a lot less WoW these days.
I will admit, I definitely have sacrificed a lot of IRL stuff because of it, but I just made that decision because looking back at it, I RuneScape, old school RuneScape, I didn't know how long it was going to be around. I mean, I was around for the days of the 6,000 people online, like 2013, 2014. I was back before God Wars or Corp came into the game. God Wars.
People
I was like,
online.
I don't know how long this is going to be around. And even up until 6-7 years ago, I'm like, okay, maybe 5-6 more years. I'm like, I just have to go full throttle. This is my dream job. I have to put everything into it that I can. So I was just kind of like, like you said, let's flip no Gillanor Games. I'm talking about Gillanor Games again. But
you just can't help yourself.
yeah. So like I did sacrifice, I think, doing a lot of stuff maybe I wanted to do, which was traveling, which was having more in real life relationships. But in the inverse, I then grew relationships with creators and you guys as friends and as JMods and Jagex as a company.
That's something that I struggle with because it's tough to make friends in real life, but I feel like I have so many friends online. And it's tough to like try to, sometimes you could feel like, dang, I got no friends, but then you realize like, shit, I've got thousands, you know? And that's more than some people have. So you kind of have to look at it both ways.
Events as well kind of ticks the box too, I guess.
Yeah. So it actually worked out, I think, for the best. I grew connections and relationships I never would have grown otherwise. Do I spend too much time sitting, editing? Do I spend too much time looking at a computer? Yes, at the end of the day, but that's kind of what I've always wanted to.
So if you love it, then there's nothing wrong. No one here is judging.
Yeah, exactly. But outside RuneScape, love hiking. Big hiker. I love dogs. I just got a new puppy recently. GSP, German Shorter Pointer. She's a ton of energy, but it's actually really nice having a higher energy dog because it gets you out of the house.
Yeah, it forces you to
which
be
is
a little
I
bit
have
more
to
out.
like
Oh,
2
that's a good
walks a
idea.
day. We go on long hikes every weekend, which is really, really
that's
good.
amazing.
I love football. I'll say football, soccer, but I love football.
You're a
Huge
Chelsea
football
fan as well, aren't you?
I'm a Bayern fan. Yeah. And I took my dad to our first. My dad's a massive Bayern fan, like huge Bayern fan. And we went to our first game last year.
Because
together.
his
treated
dad's
him
from
to a
Germany.
game in the Allianz
FC
Arena,
Bayern.
the stadium.
Wow.
And it was. I've been following it, and World Cup's happening in America this year, which again a bit controversial, but it's cool to have in the country. So yeah. But those are the 2 big things. Yeah, big huge sport, and just a sports fan in general.
I've been to Munich, by the way.
Love being outside, which is I think a good thing.
Yeah, it's a nice. I was gonna say the irony of it is like, oh, I was stuck inside and I really love being outside.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
That's I find that's typically how it goes. Like I love being outdoors, but I just love also being in my house.
Yeah,
Went to,
exactly. So it's
Went to Oktoberfest. I did the very tourist thing. It was awesome. Drinking beer out of massive jugs of what are they? Massive glass jugs of beer. What am I trying to say? And then dancing on tables in the lederhosen and shit. That was sick.
It's a good balance. I think if you find the right balance, it's you need the work-life balance, which I'm sure you guys can appreciate.
Sure.
Everybody needs.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're not going to catch me going for 200 mil sailing.
No, that's
I'm
fair.
not going to be inside for that, but I will do grinds.
Yeah.
In RuneScape still, but yeah.
So, what is your biggest guilty pleasure? If I really wanted to win you over at one point, what would it be? What would I be able to get you?
Oh, that's a hard question. Guilty pleasure.
Yeah, you know you shouldn't enjoy it, but you do anyway.
Like in game or just IRL? Or?
It could. Let's go with IRL, and you can answer in game afterwards.
Ooh,
Yeah.
IRL. That's a tough question on the spot. What's my guilty pleasure?
Like a snack, a drink, a thing to do.
Coke
Anything
Zero.
sushi.
Yeah.
I could eat sushi every day if I
That's
wanted
a good
to. Like
shout.
if you were to
Yeah.
tell me,
Oh, I
honestly,
thought you were gonna say Coke Zero.
I need to edit, but you're like, let's go for sushi. I'm like, okay, let's go for sushi. I would 100% absolutely love it. Yeah,
Okay.
I would say that's probably the best way to win me.
For me, it's CBT. 100% CBT. If you know, you know. Coffee bagel time.
over as a sushi date.
Yeah. Okay, I love that.
Yeah. And then in game, I would say, I'll train your agility for you. No, I'm just kidding. Honestly, anytime somebody's like, do you want to do content together? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah,
let's
just
do it.
like
I just,
curious stuff.
yeah, it's just so super fun to me to be able to, when people come to me with content ideas, I'm like, yeah, let's do it. It sounds so much fun. So,
I mean, like RuneScape really is like, we were talking yesterday, sorry. Mod Kieran was going over, the design pillars of old school, and he talked about it in the podcast. But for those of you that didn't watch it or listen to it, shame on you. Go watch it. Thank you. Also, like and subscribe. Thank you very much. Anyway, he was talking about the solo but together. And old school is this game where you can play the entire game by yourself, but it wouldn't be the same game if it wasn't for the fact that everyone else is around you at the same time.
100%.
And there are very specific instances where playing with other people is important and it feels good and we want it to feel good. And I've definitely had times where I personally myself right now feel like I'm a little bit, I wouldn't say burnt from playing old school, but I'm not playing as much as I want to. And I think one of the main parts of that is that I just don't like the feeling of logging in and playing by myself in silence. So like when I've jumped into raids with you, for example, or we've jumped into a group, and like that one night that we were doing the wilderness bosses, and Cell just randomly decided to come along. And then from Cell...
Do you guys maybe feel like, for me, streaming watching a stream while I play the game helped me fill that void that Aiza is talking about. It helped me feel like even though it's solo, but alone or whatever, or a solo but with others, when I'm watching a streamer play, I feel like I'm playing with them. So I get to, it's like I'm playing with someone, So it kind of helps fill that void that he's talking about. So like I'm always watching somebody play the game when I'm playing it, in a sense. And then a lot of times I'll catch myself watching a stream and I see he's doing Doom, and it's like, shoot, it makes me want to go do Doom, like subconsciously. And I'm like, no, I can't do Doom. I got to wait until I stream to do Doom, because that's good content. I can't go do Doom right now, But like, I got to go do my farm runs because it's off stream. But I feel like that, what Aiza's talking about, I have that same feeling unless I'm watching a stream.
Came along, a whole bunch of others came along. I think you even
Yeah, I was in
joined
the
us
call. I
there,
remember that. Yeah.
And that was such a good night, and it just came out of nowhere. And it's those moments that I really cherish in terms of gameplay. So I can fully relate to that of like wanting to just jump in with people.
Yeah.
But I'm also really guilty of being a recluse and just being like,
Yeah.
people are like, oh, you want a game tonight? And be like, I haven't replied to that because I'm just hiding in my room.
For sure. Yeah, I think everybody's guilty of that a little
Yeah.
bit. Everybody has
My
their...
iron's about to catch up to you.
Yeah. Okay, then that could be it. We could be progressing together. Yeah. All right. We do, because to be fair, we could duo all of the raids, couldn't we?
Yeah.
Tier B might be a little bit hard for us to
Dude,
duo.
I want to.
JMod's one raid.
Dude,
It'd be
Yeah.
we got to recruit Sween and Aiza to the Iron Man clan. We got to see if they want to join.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad you said one raid and not something else with that, because that could have gone so wrong.
To take that out, they will.
Yeah, we're from the generation that understands.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I was curious.
When the internet was very different.
Yeah, completely different. Yeah. But speaking to that, there's a reason Settled, Framed, and I are just in calls all the time.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's just fun to be together playing
Yeah,
the
and
game,
you're
even if
keeping
we're
that
doing different
social-
content. And that's why
Yeah.
clans are so big on RuneScape, because everybody's just wants to be part of a community
Yeah.
in Discord talking, but still playing by
Yeah,
themselves.
I
That's
mean,
why-
even having our clan, seeing other people get stuff in the clan all the time, it motivates you to like keep going. You know, you're like, damn, everybody's getting stuff. You know, maybe I'll get stuff, and it's motivating for sure.
RuneScape's just the best game because you can just do what you want.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to rely on other people,
Yeah.
but it's also relatable if you have them around and makes it
Yeah.
more fun.
If you want to be a recluse for the day, be a recluse. If
Yeah.
you want to group PVM, go group PVM. Yeah.
And then sit somewhere in the middle. Like your achievements don't really mean much if no one's there to see them. Or like that's why I love our approach to gear, and with the fact that we don't have like transmog and stuff. Like you see something, you see a Zuck helm, you're like, cool, that dude's GM.
Yeah.
And even in a clan chat, even if you're all playing solo, but somebody gets a broadcast, they've got a level or an XP or a drop. It's
Yeah.
like sweet, cool.
Yeah, it feels good.
And that's the little dopamine rush. of
Yep, he
oh,
just said
someone
the same thing
someone
I did.
Did something cool.
Yeah, and you know what's charming is, to bring GG back into it, whenever we film a Gillanor Games challenge and there's just a random player interaction in the show, that's so charming. Like honestly, even though we do private worlds and stuff would elevate maybe certain challenges, but just running into a guy who stole your rune rock during an episode and then having you just go crazy, like Mammal, like I remember mauled over a guy stealing his runite rock during the show, and having random players like in the finale, a cute noob showing up in the underground pass,
Having no idea what's
just
going
having
on.
a moment of just like comedy, just in the middle of an intense like. You can't like, that's so, I don't know, charming. Like it's
Yeah.
wholesome, which is, I feel like always kind of has to be a part of it, and which is RuneScape in a nutshell. Like it's just, you have those, I don't think anybody will ever get tired of walking by a guy in full Addy with a dragon longsword and like mithril boots or something.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
good luck on your journey, man.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'm so excited for you. Like it never
We'd all
gets tiring.
Would give anything to trade places and be
I actually did that yesterday. Do you guys remember? I don't know. Some people might have been in here last stream. I was running to like Catherby to go mine a rock or something. I don't even know. But there was a dude in full mithril walking with a rune scimitar. And he was walking from Catherby to Sears Village. As I was on my farm run or whatever I was doing, I was like, that's RuneScape. That guy right there. That guy is RuneScape. It was so sick. And now I realize how a lot of people were looking at me when I was a noob. Because now I'm looking at that guy like, oh shit, that guy has a whole ass journey ahead of him. You know what I mean? You just looking at somebody and you're like, damn, that guy's got the whole game to go. He has no idea what's going on.
back in that position of not knowing what's ahead and like reliving it all again.
It's why when the WoW creators came, we're just like, oh, I was like, this is the best.
Yeah, just
These
Yeah.
guys-
Relive
It's
it
like
all
the
again.
way that your grandparents looked at you when you were a kid, you know? They're like, damn, that kid's got his whole life ahead of him, you know?
just the best. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fun and frustrating at the same time. Way more fun than frustrating, but yeah, it was the best thing ever. I was like, so many new people discovering the game. Got to chat shit to WoW a little bit, being like, oh,
Yeah.
our viewer count's higher than yours, right? So that was really fun, which I liked. So yeah.
That good old rivalry.
Yeah.
I'm going to carry on with this trend of just random questions now.
Yeah,
Ask
go for
one
it.
that I like to commonly ask, and that is, it's going to require a little bit of imagination.
Okay.
Now, imagine you could live any other life in any other world, any other setting, environment, whatever it may be. Do you have like an ideal dream? Like, you know, for example, I could be in an isekai. I'm reborn in another world and I'm this crazy adventurer, super strong, and I've got like I'm a wizard. Or we've had dragon tamers. We've had people wanting to be bridge builders. What does your fantasy life look like, Soup?
Is it bad? The first thing when you said that, I was like, I want to live in Falador.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I thought of. I've always wanted to live in
that's
Falador,
sick. Falador's
which
a
is
nice
crazy
city,
to think
man.
of RuneScape again. But I've always thought the white architecture in Falador was so. I always thought people there. If I was born a Faligard, I'd be dead like immediately. But yeah, but like.
So are you a
Bro, I would be a wood elf in Lord of the Rings, I swear. Tell me you don't want to be friends with Legolas.
certified white knight?
I guess you could say that now.
Yeah.
We're making that official.
Okay,
certified
there we
white
go.
knight.
Soup the white knight.
Well, recently I will say I'm sick in RuneScape, but I think Varlamore would be a sick place to like reborn, live into. And Varlamore is just sick.
Yeah, that place is popping.
Visually, the market going on. I feel like growing up there as a kid would just be like the sickest thing ever.
Alderin would be so comfy, so cozy.
Yeah,
how nice.
Super cozy.
Yeah.
I'm a giant Lord of the Rings fan.
Okay.
I have
Okay.
Lord of the Rings
Respect.
tattoos. Like
He's
on
fucking
the camera.
cool.
Yeah, I got the Fellowship here, the Tree of Gondor.
Gondor, yeah.
So my name is Soup. Like
Yeah.
that's my tag, but I wanted to be Strider. Like that was my dream.
Oh, okay.
My dream name was Strider, Aragorn's ranger name, and I was like, if I could go back and be reborn as Strider on RuneScape, I would be like a ranger type guy who comes in like all mysterious and old. He's like 200 years old, but he looks like he's 45 or something like that. But just to be like just a badass like Aragorn,
That's cool.
in the RuneScape scene, which I guess you can kind of be a little bit if you want to on RuneScape, because you could be a warrior and you're treated like that in certain quests and stuff like that. But yeah, that'd be the dream. I
Hell
would live
yeah,
in
Lord of the
Middle-earth, I
Rings,
think,
W.
honestly, which is honestly a horrible place to live.
Yeah.
At a certain time, right? But yeah, Strider, Middle Earth, the dream.
I mean, most like fantasy.
Isn't it kind of I mean, has there been anything else as good as Lord of the Rings in the past 20 years? Has any fantasy even come close? Isn't it? I mean, Dune is pretty good. I don't think anything has topped Lord of the Rings, man. I think Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones first 6 seasons, just as good. But that's a TV show. I would say Game of Thrones, Lord of the Rings, and Dune. Yeah, those 3 are probably the best fantasies to come out in the last 20 years. I mean, Star Wars is always going to be up there, but the originals came out, I think, before Lord of the Rings. And we're talking about the originals. I think Lord of the Rings will just always be the best, man. It's crazy that they can't make anything better than that. It's like MMOs, bro. Like MMOs, Lord of the Rings, they all came out around the same time. They were all invented around that same period, like early 2000s. And it's just like, dude, this is just such a goated time to be a kid. Like we just grew up in the best generation, I swear.
Worlds, they're all horrible. They're made to look good because they want to show you a show. Or, you go watch, I don't know, like Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
You walk down those streets and you're going to be sick because it stinks of piss and poo.
Yeah.
So
remind me after this, I have a video of me in high school, 10 years old. I'm holding up a stick. We're going up to a mountain. I just go for Frodo and I run and I trip and I fall. I can send it to you guys. It's absolutely hilarious.
Why would you tell us this?
Because it's super. Because honestly, it's like my best blooper of all time.
Okay, I love it. Yes, please.
It's
do.
super fun. I should maybe
I'll have
show
a
the
look at it.
podcast,
I
but
wanna see
it's
that.
super good. But
I want
I've
to see that
always
in the Lego stop motion.
and the
Yeah.
Lego stop motion. Yeah, I guess get you guys with the behind the scenes stuff. But yeah, I think Middle Earth. I mean, I just love the fantasy genre.
Yeah.
That's why I think RuneScape just hooked me at the start, and Lord of the Rings.
I'm with you on that.
It's just
Super.
I love being able to wizards and dragons and everything. So
When I first started playing RuneScape, like 11
Same.
years old, I would be sat in a cycle of just doing some kind of AFK skilling, but reading Lord of the Rings whilst playing. And then I'd finish it
man.
and go back to the start, or Silmarillion, or another
Yeah.
fantasy book or something like that too.
yeah, The Hobbit's one of my favorite books. Just that entire genre. Lord of the Rings. I read it as a kid, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, that entire.
I feel bad that I've never read them. And I really, really
Should read 'em.
I really should.
Yeah.
Because the movies are my favorite of all time. I
no
can't
question.
tell you how many times I've watched Return of the King. Like literal favorite movie of all time.
So good.
I would have been Legolas in your fantasy world for what it's
Ooh,
worth.
you would have been
Dude,
Legolas.
I love that elf fantasy.
Yeah.
He
The-
took my
the elf
line.
ranger
He
with the
took my.
sword is
What the
just so
heck,
cool.
bro?
I was gutted. I think one of the pilot episodes, I made a joke about Tom Bombadil, and you're like, I don't know who that is.
I know.
The joke did not land. I was like,
It did
oh,
not.
man.
And then I had to go and figure out and research, and then I realized how silly I was, and I told you, and you were like, Ben, I can't believe it. I'm actually. You said, I think you told me that you were disappointed in me.
Ooh.
Yeah, and
doesn't
that
sound like me.
hurt. It does sound like you. That is definitely you. You're like just a disappointment then. Oh, sorry, Dad.
So much rift.
So a lot of YouTube work. You've mentioned sponsors in the past and getting those. I'm curious, what was your first ever sponsor, and how much did they pay you?
Amazing question. I get memed on this to this day by Settled and Framed about this.
So I hear.
Would you know the answer to this? Oh my gosh. Did they tell you to ask me this? Oh, that's so funny. Catbeast.com was my first ever sponsor. It was a hat sponsor. I got flamed for it so hard because way back in the day, sponsors were not seen as really, people don't like them
Yeah.
in a video. So it was catbeast.com. I got paid. The video is
Catbeast.
110,000 views these days.
Yeah.
Pay me $50.
Wow,
50
what a
bucks.
steal.
$50 for an ad spot. I remember
50
being
bucks.
crucified about this one. The video is more dislikes than likes and everything. People were like,
no.
never again. Right. So it was Cat Beast, which is Settled and Framed. I hate you guys, but it's funny to bring it
Yeah,
up.
it was Framed who brought it over, and he said that they still mock you to this day.
To
for
this
it.
day.
That's so
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
But they always joke that like I took the
That's funny.
arrows in the back for the content creators, like to this day to have it and everything. Like I sacrificed my first sponsor.
How crazy is it though that the climate has changed entirely now, where people like encourage you to get sponsors? You go
Yeah.
get that bread. They want you to get paid.
I think it's as the old school community has grown up, they're
Yeah.
like, yeah, we get it. Like these
Chad, are you guys expecting to see an ad in a YouTube video nowadays? Is that just a normal thing? I kind of don't even care anymore. It just like I kind of expect it. Like if we want this content, this guy needs to get an ad so that he can keep making content. And so now it's just like, okay, like it's whatever. I don't see it as an issue anymore. But in the beginning, you were seen as a sellout. If you took an ad, because making YouTube videos and stuff wasn't seen as a career. It was seen more of like, we want to support people that are like one of us. It was like the one of us movement, just a guy in his room making content. And like, you didn't want to see people who were selling out, making themselves a full-time job off of being a content creator. It wasn't a lot of support there, but now I think that sentiment has changed.
guys are, as long as it's a respectful sponsor,
Of
like
course.
for the most part, it makes sense. I think people understand. And listen, at the end of the day, this is what's always what bothered me. A little pet peeve on it. It's like, you can just skip in the video if you don't want to
Yeah,
watch
true,
it.
yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, like if you just don't want to watch it, you can just skip through it.
Yeah.
So
I try to watch the sponsors,
but
though,
the people
now.
who do watch
Now
through
that
it,
I'm
and
taking
like I said, a lot of
sponsors-
the products we do actually promote, they're not bad product. We're fans of.
Now that I'm taking sponsors, I sometimes skip less than I used to. And the reason this is because I want to support especially my friends. Like I want to support my friends. Like if one person from my stream uses their code, like I kind of want to support them. And if they make any money, like it's great for them. And that's me doing what small thing that I can to support my friends. Right. And so even though sometimes I still skip, I've noticed I've started to do it less. That's all I'm going to say about it.
To them,
Yeah.
But it's up to the viewer to decide if they like that or not. But
and I think as the
Do
quality
people still
of
get
content
revenue
has
if you
increased,
skip?
and the viewers
Yeah,
are
yeah,
appreciative of that, they know you need to put more.
I mean, the content creator gets the revenue from the YouTube video. Yes. But if nobody ever buys any of their sponsors, if nobody ever uses their code or their link, then eventually they'll just stop getting sponsors. So you definitely want to get some signups or people using your code.
More time in to make good videos, and to have more time, you need more financial security. So
Yeah.
take the sponsorship.
yeah, we need the sponsors to make certain stuff happen at the end of the day. Like, and I think, like I said, 99% of people will understand and appreciate that, which is great.
Is that website still going? Do you know?
It is. I actually looked it up. It is still going, I think.
I wonder if like this episode will cause like you look at Google Trends.
There's like a
that'd be funny. Yeah,
it's like $50 is still going.
That was the best $50 I ever spent.
They send me an email. They're like, "Hey, this is doing really well for us." Like 12 years later or whatever. So
here's your new royalty.
Oh, that is one thing about the YouTube sponsor is if you're putting it into an integration, you are buying that ad revenue spot for life. Have you guys ever thought about this? People that are buying a GG sponsor are buying it forever. That ad is going to be in that video until the end of time. And beyond that, unless YouTube ever gets taken down. Like, these YouTube spots that people are buying might be worth significantly more than whatever they're paying for. It's not like buying an ad in the Super Bowl or whatever and it's just gone. You're buying a forever spot in that person's video and it will always be there. And so there's a chance that somebody blows up 5 years from now to twice, 3 times the size that they were, and people go back and watch their old series of the first time that they ever played old school RuneScape as the next WoW player. And all of these spots that were sold in their YouTube videos just get a massive surge of people signing up. You never know. That's just a very like random thought I had. Yeah.
What's his check?
Yeah, exactly. Going back to it. But,
brilliant.
But yeah.
If you had like, obviously you got your degree.
Yeah.
We've been asking people like, what if you weren't doing what you're doing now, making RuneScape videos, what do you think you would be doing?
Paleo, thank you for the 2 month there.
Tough question. I think a lot of people are in the same boat where I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I will say when I was in school still, I was in the, which is kind of funny because it does translate to what I do now. I was part of the behind the scenes for TV production. So like, you know, you have the guy directing the, okay, scene 1, scene 2, like hold 1, hold 2, stuff like that. And I was the guy who was changing the scenes. So I think if I had to do anything, it would kind of be maybe working because I don't mind being behind the scenes. My high school goal was to be in the credits of a movie. Like I wanted to see my name in the credits. I don't care what it was. Director, producer, even TV assistant. So for GG, when I have the credits and I'm on there, I'm like, I did it, you know, kind of deal.
I'm very grateful that I'm in your credits as well.
Yes.
By the way, I always smile when I see those.
Yes, I owe you guys a lot. So it's just I try to give thanks where thanks is due. But yeah, that was
Bro, me and Soup think a lot alike with the production mindset. I could probably have some good conversations with Soup about production. Might have to take him out for coffee or something next time we meet up.
I think I would want to be in the behind the scenes of production of something.
Nice.
Tough business though, so I don't know. That's why, again, going back to I want to make the most of my time
Totally
in the creation scene for RuneScape as I
CBT
can.
with Soup?
And now
Maybe.
I just don't think it's going anywhere. So I feel comfortable, but I'm not gonna like take it arrogantly where I'm like, I'm just gonna take it lax. I still want to be as efficient as possible.
I don't know what I'd be doing if not this now. I've been doing this I've been doing RuneScape for so long.
Yeah.
I don't know what I could
Where did you go when you took your break again? Because you left Jagex for a little bit, right?
I went to CCP Games.
CCP
I ran a community for like, I guess it's now Eve Vanguard. It's like their shooter game for a little while. And then I went freelance and I worked for a couple of studios, including Jagex. And I had 3 jobs at once. Jagex was like my smallest contract in terms of hours per week.
Should we do CBT
I did the most
podcast?
for Jagex.
Coffee Bagel Time podcast?
Yes.
I loved it. And I was like, all right, bring me back. Let's make it properly.
Yeah. I remember being sad when you left.
Oh,
and then you
man.
came back. And I was like, yes, like this is great.
Thank you,
the
man.
boss.
That's
Yeah,
nice
of course.
to hear.
Yeah, same with you. When you left for a little bit, and then I'm like, yes, Ace is back. This is great. You guys were just suckered back in, right?
Yeah. I mean, I love it here. I regretted leaving. I had to in the circumstances
In
that I was
hindsight,
under at the
yeah.
time. But yeah, it's like if I could have made it work, and obviously, with hindsight in mind, that's like a regret that I have. I would have changed a lot of my circumstances to have carried on working. But I'm also grateful for the
How many
break
KC for
that
the
I had from
hammer?
working at
2.
it to realize how much I appreciated being here. That was good for me. But like outside of Jagex, like genuinely, I don't want to leave. I want to stay here. I want to stay on old school until old school dies. And I'm hoping that. Wait, that was going to sound really weird. I was like, I'm hoping I die before old school does.
Yeah, no, I see where you're going with that. Yeah.
It was meant to be a good comment, but now it sounds like I'm really depressed. I'm not. I had my moments of revelation. I looked out the window for an hour. So yeah. But honestly, I think I would actually just not work, and not in terms of like going into like state benefits or anything like that. I would love to be in a position where I could just live off grid, just have my own little place that is just self-sufficient and just like grow my own food, grow my own energy, and maybe do a few little things on the side, like making things that I'd sell to people. But yeah, I actually quite like the life of like like being a bit more solitary.
Yeah.
But I still do like it being social. I've just always thought like that idea of being self-sufficient and proving to myself that I can do it. That is like, I don't know, it's like a challenge in my own head. And like people probably say to me, I can't do it. I'm like, well, I freaking can, I will.
Yeah, I think just everything being screen time these days makes you want to just get away and just not have a news cycle looking
I think that's probably part of it. Yeah, that's like a motivator.
Yeah.
It's like, what if I'm really going to do something and
IRL Iron Man.
Well, actually, I want to do the complete opposite of it.
Prove you can use your RuneScape skills IRL.
Yeah.
You know, the farming. I always talk with Framed and Settle because we're in calls all the time. Like our dream would just to be live together, like in a just a neighborhood together. We have
Guys, I've already said this. I am going to do this. LAN retirement homes is my greatest idea, but it's a bit too early to do it now. LAN retirement homes is going to be my late game investment. This is going to be one of the greatest come ups for the millennial generation. I'm calling it now.
acres of stuff for future generations of kids, and we just live like in the same area, and that's it.
That's becoming.
If you guys want to invest in that, let me know.
People just have
because I've looked into like homesteading and like having your own places. And there's a lot of like homesteading communities where people, families, friends are buying up land and then like building their own houses on there, and then having that as a almost
Iron
like
Man
a
only
small
though.
mini community.
Yeah.
So you could make it happen.
It's
a few more Gillanor games in the bag.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's like I can genuinely see myself doing this like for the rest of my career.
Yeah.
Like if the game is around 10, 15 more years, I'll be in my 40s, which is weird to say about. But realistically, like if a lot of RuneScape creators, if they keep going the way they're going, like if the numbers are good, which again, I don't see the game going anywhere, realistically at all.
Well, I see it going up.
Yeah, exactly. Like you could genuinely do this for your entire life, which is.
Is it weird to be like, if you think about it in the grand scheme of things, all the content creators that are creating content right now, this is the gold rush that we're in right now of content creation. People that are becoming full-time content creators now will be seen in 10 years, will be seen as the start of it. Especially with streaming. Streaming has been out for 10 years. 10 years from now, people that started today will be seen as even at the early adopters of streaming. Like Soda Poppin' is like the Mount Rushmore of it. He's like one of the first ones. Him, Summit, Reckful, like the really, really early guys. Ice Poseidon. But everybody that's doing it now is still somewhat early in the streaming and content creator gold rush. I mean, it's starting to be very, very saturated now. But even 5 years ago, there weren't anywhere near as many streamers as there are now. So it is very early on. And then to think about how many streamers will streaming be a thing 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now? Will I still be streaming at 80 years old? Is a kind of something to think about, and it runs past my mind a lot, and it's interesting. Yo, Alaskan Goat, thank you very much for that 6-monther. Can you play Flying to Freedom by really slow motion after the video? Don't know what that is? Maybe. Thank you very much for the 6-monther, Alaskan.
Weird to say and think about, but it's actually possible, which is very exciting. Because for me, I'm like, this is all I want to do.
There's already 70, 80-year-old streamers, by the way.
Somewhere that isn't RuneScape content creation. I'd be like, what do I even say? So again, it's just awesome to think about. Really exciting.
It is awesome that we have like such a strong future ahead of us. And like, I'm sure people will probably think, oh yeah, you work at Jagex, you're just a shill for it. But it's like, I think the proof should be in the pudding, in the sense of like, Old School's nearly 13 years old now. Next month, I think it's 13 years.
Yep, older than the release of the original game.
Yeah, like literally older than the original
That's
RuneScape,
crazy.
and it's bigger than it has ever been before. You go back 5 years ago, and people were saying, "Oh, Old School's got 5 years left in it," and we're like, "No, 5 years is like the start of the next 5 years, which is the start of the next 5 years of the next 5 years." So I'm seeing now is like, if we're still growing, we've just released the first new skill last year, right? there's so much more that we can still do. Like that new skill alone has opened up years worth of content to expand into.
Yeah.
And then what about the next skill if we do another skill? What even is it going to be?
Yeah.
All the time working through that. Like there are many, many, many years left. So I'm hoping that for you, we can see Gillanor Games through to your retirement.
Fingers
I can
crossed.
stay in community till retirement. Hopefully you'll stay in marketing until
Hopefully.
retirement. Yeah.
I don't know much for you guys, but back in the day when people used to say that, I think you were like, yeah, you're probably right. But then internally, you're also like, really? Like, but where would it go? Like, why would people just quit?
Yeah.
Like, it's just, there's still 150,000 people playing 5 years ago. Like, where are these people just going to go all of a sudden?
Yeah, I know.
So I think internally you're like, it actually might still be here. And now you're just like, yeah, it's definitely still going to be here, which is a great shift attitude to have.
Yeah,
I, think,
I joined over 5 years ago, and I would never work at a place that I didn't feel like had longevity to it. So I always felt like it was secure. Like you can't kill RuneScape.
where's it going to go?
It's a part of history. It's like culture for so many people.
It's way too amazing of a
true.
game. And even if, let's say, Jagex somewhere were to go somewhere, hopefully not, you could still use it, download the game. Like if it becomes an offline game, like there's still going to be content on it, I think, forever. So yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah, I mean, touch wood.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Knock on wood. Turn the question on you guys when you ask me if I regret anything from GG. Your time at Jagex, any content where you're like, releasing this was bad, like we shouldn't have done this?
Oh yeah, I have a lot of regrets.
You have a lot of them.
Stuff I've worked on. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I'll just the first one that comes to mind. One of the first projects I worked on, the Revenant Caves.
Ooh,
Rev Caves
regret
was
the
one of
release
the-
of Revs.
Yeah, the initial release was awful.
Well, like,
Yeah.
I guess like probably expensive,
The,
wider, wildy stuff.
yeah.
So Red Caves and
The
then-
400 noted
I can go.
brews.
And I'll go into that. It's like
All of the
Revenant
wilderness?
Caves came with Major Arena 2.
Yeah.
The Major Arena 2 had very little in terms of art resource. We had a very small team back then as well. There wasn't as much as we could do.
Yeah.
And it wasn't ready for the time that it came out, is like the basic of it. We should have spent more time touching it up graphically, making the boss encounters actually more meaningful rather than being a recolored demon. So like when that landed, it was really disappointing because I personally poured hours and hours and hours of effort into trying to explain what we were trying to achieve with the community and bringing them on board. Because this is still at a time where, like, even nowadays, PvP content is relatively controversial. Back then, it was even more so.
It was.
It was very difficult to get people to want to engage in it that weren't already in PvP, and like
It still
that would
is.
have taken away from content. Whereas nowadays, we have so many great, fantastic designers. We can do PvP alongside all the other stuff.
Yeah.
If you really want to see how popular PvP is, take the rewards, take the cosmetic rewards out of Deadman mode and see how many people play it.
So yeah, it's like after spending so much time, resource, energy to then see something go out that genuinely did not look good, that did not play well, then the Revenant Caves themselves with the rewards, all of the rewards failing, I was really disheartened from that because, again, I poured so much time into it. But I was also very new into the job. And then what it taught me was that it's okay for things to fail, and it's not a reflection of me as an individual.
Yeah.
Because when things are failing, it's the players telling us that they don't like it. And
the point of a poll
that's a good
system.
thing. It's exactly the point of the poll system. But like when you first start, it's my first time in community. Like I didn't really know that was the thing. So I was like, damn, I've done a really bad job here because I should have got people to realize what they were. They just didn't want it. So yeah, Rev Caves. And outside of content, biggest regret was my first day on live stream.
First day on live stream.
Yeah, my first appearance on live stream.
Like your own live stream or the Jagex
The
live stream?
Jagex live stream, yeah. Like my first week.
Is there
in.
lore behind? I don't know if I remember this. Is there a story behind it?
There's a story behind it, yeah.
It's not even deep.
It's not.
It's not at all.
I just screwed up. I was really bad at saying what I was trying to say.
Oh, okay.
I was really inexperienced and very anxious because I'd never been on a stream like that before.
Yeah.
I'd never spoke to thousands of people, and I was a little bit cocky and thought that I knew better in terms of like how to speak. Thankfully, I've learned a lot since then. But yeah, in essence, what I was saying was like people like I joined as a CM, and I wanted to offer people reassurance that like I really wanted to make the game good for everyone. And you asked me a question of like, what is the one thing that annoys you the most at the moment? And I'd been heavily involved in like reading Reddit, watching Twitch, seeing Twitter.
Oh, okay. This is ringing a bell now.
This is around the time
Yeah.
where back in 2017, the voice that was the strongest were the people that were most vocal. And at the time, it was mostly the high level community. They were the people that were engaging with us on social platforms. Nowadays, we have such a broader audience of people, which is fantastic. We get a lot more info coming in and feedback. But back then, it was very much like HLC were the loudest on socials.
Yeah.
So I'm constantly seeing like like Jagex are trying their hardest to make this game, old school RuneScape, accessible and open to everyone and more inviting and more reason to want to play. And then there's the group of people that really don't want the game to change, feel like it's becoming easyscape, and that their kind of like achievements have been devalued, which is completely fair and valid feelings to have. The point I was trying to make was that, like, if we're going to like add new content to a new skill, and it might make that skill more accessible, it might even make that XP per hour a little bit different. It's not a devaluation of the fact that you got a 99 before someone else did, because your 99 was important when it was important that you got it to those rates. And what I want to make sure is that if I'm coming in is that I'm not afraid. I don't want to be afraid of not being able to update skilling content because people are going to be annoyed about their achievements being devalued. And the one comment that I think that made it the worst was that I essentially said that getting a level 99 isn't an expression of skill, it's an expression of time. So that, without an explanation, goes down terribly when a lot of people are very skillfully receiving their 99s. They're putting in their effort, they're playing perfect efficiency and doing methods that actually do require skill that not many people can pull off. And that turned into them thinking that
like tick
what I
manipin?
essentially wanted was easyscape and that 99s would be fully AFKable and that kind of stuff. So I then spent like the evening on Reddit reading through posts and posts about me wanting to get fired, and there was a petition for me to be fired.
I
and
completely
stuff.
forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah. But it turned around. Like I explained what I meant to say, which was literally like, no, it's not about that. It's just that my personal feeling, I still feel it now, is that if you got 99 and it took you 200 hours to do it, be proud of the fact that you did it when it was hard, because that's your achievement. No one can take that away from you. If someone 2 years later gets that same 99 in 100 hours, it doesn't make your 99 any less meaningful. It just means that you got it first, you did it when it was harder, and you should be proud of that.
I feel that way with Infernal Capes. Like,
I feel that way with Slayer. They should just go ahead and buff it. And, you know, everybody else that did their Slayer, you know, in 1 month or 2 months to 95 or whatever it took them, they should be proud of that. They should give it to me in half that time. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, Infernal Cape is still an incredible achievement for a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean,
You guys can be proud of your Slayer.
The new mage
Let me
tank
have mine
method, or if you
faster.
did it really slowly with max gear,
Okay.
you got it. That's awesome. It's one of the best achievements in the game. So I agree. There should be a level of respect and like appreciation for the people who brew metas and break records and show incredible levels of skill to get it. Those people should be on a pedestal, I could say, but nobody should ever look down at somebody for 99 or any type of PVM achievement, or even your first PK, right? Even if you PK'd a bot for your first PK, like good stuff, like awesome. Congratulations, you know? So RuneScape's all about dopamine and achievements.
Yeah.
That's what keeps people playing. So
Yeah, that and your own journey and all that good stuff. So, and also I feel like nowadays as well, people should hopefully feel that we try to be very respectful of people's time and that journey that people have gone on. There are certain areas of the game, you know, we're clearly not touching and not making completely, you know, busted. It's not like runecrafting suddenly turned into 200k an hour of a skill. It's relatively comparable to how it has been, because it is about valuing people's time and respecting the effort that they've put in.
You got imbued at
But
Gargoyles?
the game has to evolve.
One mistake I've
Congrats,
made,
bro.
which I haven't really told anyone about. I think you know.
Hopefully I get mine right here.
As a launch of a Dead Man seasonal event.
Are you actually going to say this?
I'm gonna. It's been so long now. Who cares?
wow, sounds spicy.
I've got to carry on my
My God.
habit of revealing stuff about me that put me in negative light.
Yeah. Swing stole the prize money. He didn't.
Swing did
He
not
didn't.
steal
that.
He
We
didn't.
Not steal the prize money. I'd have a much nicer car had I stolen the prize
You have a
money.
nice car.
It's all right. It's okay. Launch of a Dead Man seasonal. Do you remember how we used to run them? You had the 3 week or month qualifying period, and then we'd flag.
And then
And
the
then
1 week. Yep.
I was flagging the accounts for access, and it's a very super minor mistake. Like you have to input a text file. To be fair, me making this mistake meant that the system got updated and improved. So
Yeah,
it's a good thing.
It
in
was
the
a
long
good
run.
thing.
But you update a text file, which is essentially just like a giant list of, it should be number strings attached to like a user ID. I didn't do the user ID. I used like the text equivalent as opposed to the numerical equivalent, which meant that no one got, or like 70 out of 2,000 got flagged. And then we had to like hurriedly cancel, reboot, flag it again, try it again. I completely derailed like the launch of Dead Man finale week.
Yeah.
However we used to refer to it back in like 2018,
Oh, no.
2017.
Yeah. But hey, the systems are better now, so it's all right.
I don't remember. Did you guys announce a delay? Like, was there?
Yeah.
I don't remember
It was just
that.
on socials, and like, we weren't down for long, so no one really cared.
Yeah, it was like grand scheme of things, like 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes.
That moment of panic.
Oh, he was panicking so hard.
Yeah.
Like full on sweat dripping down, kind of
I
like
can only
on the
imagine.
phone, like, Ben, I think I've
Yeah. There's a part in a season 3 Gillanor Games episode where I left a graphic up that just said winners framed and settled. And I put this in like the 4th minute of the episode on accident. I don't know how I missed in the proof check. It literally spoiled the winners of that episode in the first 4 minutes. And I saw it. I was like, oh my God. Like,
Oh no.
everything's ruined. Doesn't compare to like the DMF thing, but again, that moment of panic, which I had on the screaming the word on the RuneScape live stream.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. So obviously, my only experience of it is you saying it. I don't know what happened next.
Yeah,
Were you like terrified?
I can tell the story. Just to give context to the viewers. I screamed.
Scream it.
Can I say the word?
Yeah, it's fine.
You can scream
can
it
beep
into
out.
the mic.
I said, I love the on the RuneScape live stream in 2016.
We gotta
It's a
watch
10-year
this video
anniversary
after this
year. But I didn't do it on purpose, I swear. Essentially, the backstory was that Mod Ronan and Mod Merchant were in a Discord at the time. But this was a Discord that was like a friend Discord. Like it wasn't an official Jagex one. They were just friendly, like in our personal friend Discord at the time, which Discord was fairly new still at the time too. They were doing the Halloween event for RuneScape. They were dropping Halloween masks, pumpkins all over the world. They were at Barrows at the time. I had just finished classes for the week in college, and I had a 3-day weekend in college, which was, if for you guys who went to, I don't know if you went to college, having a 3-day weekend was awesome. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I knew I could game all weekend. I had just gone to Starbucks. I'd gotten an iced frap, which was my choice, a caramel frappuccino, and a donut, which I loved at the time. I had those at my desk. I was just feeling so good, like ready to game for the weekend. You guys have had those feeling just amazing. And not only that, I hop on and I see my boys in Discord. You know, you hop on, you see your friends in Discord. You're like, what's up, you guys? Well, I don't know what got into me, but I hit the perfect like vibrato, like just this. I'll never be able to hit that note again.
It definitely seems like it was like orchestrated in that sense.
It was crazy that it just worked out like that. Stefan. And then I stream it.
RuneScape channel.
Yeah. I still have a hard time watching it because I'm like, I can't believe I did that. But then Ronan screams, Stefan, we're streaming on the RuneScape channel. And instantly kicks me from the Discord, like right away. And then it's so funny watching Merchant back because he's like,
You're on the worst possible list.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that happens to me.
Guys, in life, the shit we talk about to this day, the shit that you always talk about when you meet up with the boys to have some beers is always the shit that went wrong. They're always the best memories, the ones that stick with you. Or the shit that you did when you were stuff that you weren't supposed to do. And that's just how it goes, man. The best memories, the best clips are the fuck ups, not the successes.
And I was like, yeah,
I can't do
Ronan,
his
like,
voice is too good.
yeah. I'm like, Ronan, you're just like messing around. So I go to twitch.tv/RuneScape. I see they're live and I see the chat going nuclear. I'm like,
oh God.
I laid on my dorm room floor for almost an hour, like thinking I was gonna get banned, thinking Jagex was gonna like never let me play the game again, like just sick to my stomach, just laying on the floor.
This perfect weekend's ruined.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh my God. So I lay there. My friends were messaging me like, what did you just do? And this would make it even worse. So finally, Ronan messages me on Discord, and he just, oh my God, I hate him for this. He just says, get in here now, period. Like, no emojis, no exclamation mark.
Yeah.
You know, those make a big difference.
Yeah.
And oh my God, he pulls me to the channel, and I'm terrified. Ronan's been my best friend for like years at this point, but I think I've just ruined my relationship with him. And he just laughs his ass off.
I can imagine.
Like him and Merchant are
pissing
laughing
himself.
their
Like,
ass
that
off.
was brilliant.
Pissing himself.
Yeah.
Archie sends me a DM. He's like, ha ha ha, that was hilarious at the time. And I'm like, oh my God, like this, I think I'm gonna be okay. And then to this day, it is
An iconic moment.
the most viewed RuneScape clip on the RuneScape channel, which is really funny. And
Every time that comes up, I'm in tears.
And there's,
yeah.
like I said, it's nearly 10 years old, and there are so many players who haven't experienced it or don't know it.
I don't know about it. I just found out about it right
Maybe do
now.
something to commemorate the anniversary.
Yeah, the 10-year, and I think it just shows that you know.
Yeah, well, we might be doing a birthday live stream. It's going to be 10 years.
Oh, should I hop in and scream that?
Yeah, why not?
Recreate that famous moment.
Yeah.
I think it's really sweet though that you were so like nervous because I never knew that backstory. I've never actually asked you about it. All the times that I've been around and we've just joked about it and I've told you how much I found it hilarious, but never how you felt.
I was
But
never
feel really bad for
orchestrated.
you now.
Like it was It was terrifying at the time, like honestly, because
Yeah, I bet
You're
it
welcome,
was.
Sick.
it was. I think I had actually even spoken at the time to Jagex for the first time. I was actually having for the first time communication with Jagex, which was fairly rare back in the day. And I think later that year, or it was the year after, I got my first invite out. So I'm like, first of all, thank God I didn't say anything worse. Which not that I was at the time, but
Yes.
it could have been a different direction
Yeah.
potentially. But it was like, I think with the way just what happened was terrifying. And then of course Ronan sending that like, get in here now. I'm like, but yeah, it ended up being like 10 years later, just people look at it back on it fondly. And for me to the fact that people laugh and get joy out of it is like, that makes me so happy. People come up to me still. Mod North, the CEO, came up to me and said, I remember when you screamed that on the live stream. And I was like, this is the first interaction I had with them. Like, that's so funny, right? So it's just, yeah, it's brilliant.
It's crazy. Mod North knows all the creators,
Well,
man.
Shout out
Yeah.
Ronan.
I think we've been able to.
It's
well, I
really
run
cool
the
to have
community team, now
a
you run the community team. We've been able to kind of build our own direction, and our own
CEO that
identity,
knows
but we
you.
built on the foundations that I think that
Mod North came right up to me first tick. Yo, Sardaco, you beast! I can't believe you passed me on your Iron Man. Insane! You got the fire, the infernal cape and the quiver already, man. You got to slow down. You're making me look bad. And I was like, dude, this is awesome.
Ronan
Ronan
built,
paved for us.
Yeah, he did
He's-
a great job for how little resources were available at the time. I think he did a really good
He's
job.
one of my favorite people. He's always made a lot with little. Like
Yeah.
honestly, with RuneScape, with videos,
He's
with,
so talented
with
and
everything.
very talented. With,
To this day, like the smartest, honestly, probably the smartest guy I know when it
Yeah.
comes to learning something quickly on the spot. Creating like videos, he's always been a step above. So yeah, shout out Ronan if he's watching this.
well, hopefully, if you are, we love you, Ronan.
Yes.
And I hope that you're well, buddy.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, you already asked us a kind of question. We normally ask, like, do you have any questions for us? You kind of like threw the one back in terms of regrets.
Yeah.
Do you have any other kind of questions that you've been wanting to ask us or anything you want to just chat about?
Yeah, I mean, I will talk GG because it is my passion project, and I think, of course, it's what a lot of people probably want to hear about. But for me, the next evolution of Gillanor Games is real life, and this goes back to the filming schedule thing, where it annoys me doing the 7 months of filming. It doesn't annoy me; it's just too much time. I can't. It takes up too.
What if you could get all content creators to take a week off and you just film all of Gillanor Games and you have it set up like you do a mixture of in-game and IRL competition. He's probably about to say this actually, because me and Soup think alike. And you just film it all in 1 week or like a few days and you just plan it out.
Too much of my time, and it's just kind of a worrisome thing. So to get creators in a house, 10 to 12 days,
There you go.
maybe even less, could be like 8 to 10 days of filming. Where we just
Boom.
get
1
everything
week.
done in 8 to 10 days. We do an episode. We can even do 2 episodes a day. It could literally everything could be done. That gives us an extra 7 months of post production time, where we only it takes 3 hours to film an episode. So we're in a house. We do the episode. Jagex is there helping out. We can get other content done. Jagex can have a year's worth of creator like shorts, of videos, of podcasts. Like we can get everything done there in a whole week and those do well, like the creator shorts, the podcast that we're doing right now. And then on top of that, have in real life aspects of GG, like real life challenges and stuff that come out on a second channel or stuff like that. But recently, of course, creator events are way more popular. You guys have
Yeah, maybe we use softer balls though when we're pegging each other. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying.
done a ton with Dead Man All-Stars and stuff like that. I'm kind of curious if we were to do that, which I'm sure you guys would probably hopefully be interested in. Would you want to do like a camera crew is there, like Big Brother, like
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Like,
I think
ignoring all money and like scheduling issues aside, 100%. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, I think it's the next evolution of it.
Yeah.
And I think RuneScape creators are so loved by their fans and viewers.
I think it's just the reality of it though is I think it's a really difficult thing to pull off.
It is.
Because like you mentioned yourself already, right? You currently don't pay the people that you have on to be on.
Correct.
So you do it in their free time. You work around them, which is really respectful.
Yep.
Which is why it takes so long. So if we were to take people out for 8 to 12 days, for example, that's like 8 to 12 days of revenue that they're losing.
we'd have to set them up so they can carry on.
Yeah,
My
so
thoughts
they have
are-
to be able to carry on streaming, or we
Yeah.
subsidize that.
Yeah.
But then also, a lot of these people have families.
Correct.
They might not want to leave their
Which is
families for
what
that
we'd
long.
have to limit it to a certain amount of time.
Yeah, but like all those are logistical problems that we can get around, right?
Yes.
You get the right guests in. Maybe it's like a house that people are there for the event, but in terms of sleeping arrangements, you have a hotel. Your family can be with you, all that kind of stuff.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's even if we are just there doing it we could still say you can still stream if you want.
Yeah.
You just can't say what you're doing here.
Yeah.
So you can still do your streaming
Yeah,
schedule. It's maybe a bit less, but video makers can still work on videos if they want, depending on their PC setup, stuff like that. So it's some logistics wise. I'm not going to say a nightmare because I think it's doable.
It's just a challenge.
It's just a challenge.
Yeah.
But I think it's like a worthy challenge where it's something that I would regret never attempting.
Yeah.
So
I
being
agree.
involved in like the behind the scenes, the production, hosting.
You saw the OTK event? Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I was just thinking. It's like a longer OTK event. You do it over the course of 5 to 7 days. And you plan an IRL event every day. And then after it's filmed, like you let the creators go do whatever they want. They can go make their own content or stream or whatever.
And
Yeah,
that's a
whatever,
really
great.
good mix between in-game and real life. And I think as a proof of concept, I know it's definitely not Gillanor Games, but in
Sure.
terms of like that, can you get people together to do content, even if they've experienced or not experienced, and mix the two? Does it work? Yes, it does.
It had just enough of light touches. Like we got to see like insight into team dynamics, and we with like Foe, probably like he was like the great coach, and we kind of see those kind of moments in Gillanor Games with the coaching.
Yeah.
We saw Soda Pop in coaching Oda Block and stuff. So yeah, the OTK event was a great proof of concept, and I'd really be keen to explore it more as well.
I always love like esports events when players are like fist bumping left and right
Yeah.
after like winning a Counter Strike.
Soda Poppin' coaching Oda Block. That would have been worse than what actually happened. I'm just going to go ahead and say that.
Round. I love that. I'm like just picturing like imagine the camera crew there, like you got like Bodhi, Solo, Foe, like fist bumping, going to their computers, getting ready to compete. Like I just think RuneScape is. I do think people have always wanted to be an esport. I think it's tough to call it an esport with Deadmans that we've done. Like they're very entertaining, but you know we know the logistical nightmare behind trying to make it an esport.
I don't think we should ever call old school an esport.
No,
It's-
exactly.
It's not. But you can have competitive events that are entertaining.
Exactly. That's the thing. It's like I think Gillanor Games helps with making it a competitive event, like exactly like you said, where you can still be the best and win, which I think people love to see. I think between having the creators being there a certain amount of time and involving Jagex and the capacity of how much would you guys want to do alongside maybe a GG season, I think would be a great conversation to have, which I'm excited hopefully to have.
We're definitely going to chat more, if nothing else, at least on the JMod special episode.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. More stuff like that I think is always going to be. And then of course we have like on top of that there's the challenges side of things where maybe we showcase stuff that's never been seen before in those challenges. Like my dream idea, I have a dream idea. It's actually pretty simple, but I think that's what makes a lot of GG challenges awesome is they're simple but fun to watch, is imagine a PvP fight, 1v1. Could be LMS here, could be Max, but each person has a Jad attacking them at the same time. And you have to prey flick the Jad and prey flick the opponent of what they're attacking you. I'm like, that conceptually is just such a sweet idea.
That's a
visually
crazy idea.
to a Jad's.
Yeah.
Imagine an Orbivocula shot going off. Like it's just, I don't know, I'm a sucker for that, obviously. So I'm just picturing like unique stuff like that, which I think is possible. But it of course involves JMod's being willing to put time aside to code and make it a thing. But then on top of that, it could also be like experimental where you guys are like,
Nothing will compare to y'all's event. Dude, they just need to run back. I mean, all of the WoW players coming over at the same time just kind of created this massive wave in time and the time space continuum. It was like super hype. It's going to be hard to relive that specific month of hype that was surrounding OSRS. And then for that event to happen on top of it, just catapulted it. It was all really good. It was all really good. And then the two biggest content creators being on the same team and having that moment where they won, you know, with my help, of course, which, you know, we're going to have to try to figure out how to fit Sard into the soda block thing because I seem to get left out of this equation, which is totally fine because, you know, the brains behind the operation doesn't always get credit a lot. That's fine. It just added up to this whole like event. You know what I mean? And it was so cool. So it's tough to like to replicate that because like the noob pro combo was so good, that dynamic, but you don't get very many noobs coming over anymore. So to recreate that would be, I don't know if it could happen. So you would probably have to do more of a, I just love the idea of the pro amateur team up, like me and Skill Specs in the GG Timu GG episode or whatever you want to call it. That was such fun for him to be like a pro and me to be a noob and we're working together.
could this be a main game thing? We tested out on GG with the players who are some of the best in the game at what they do. And if the viewers like it, they're like, yeah, that'd be really cool in the main game.
I think so. Today, the playtest you did was a proof of concept.
Yeah.
I think we need a Sardaco pop-in emote where I'm in the background like, why'd I get left out of this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there was a special hard mode of like a game jam project that apparently only took a little bit of time to spin up a hard mode version. People found it really fun.
Yeah.
That kind of thing could really work well.
Yeah. So I think it'd be fun to do.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Like, yeah, we want to chat more about that, and we can help certainly when it comes to extra little bits and with challenges, development time and stuff.
Just got goosebumps. No, it is really exciting. So yeah, I'm stoked for it.
Is there anything else that you wanted to ask away?
No, all good.
Do you have any closing words that you would like to say to those that have been listening, watching?
Well, thank you guys for having me. This is an honor to be here at Jagex and just in England and being back after, like I said, my 10-year anniversary being here, which is really, really cool. Never thought I'd still be here. And of course, shout out to the viewers who allow me to do what I do and watch the show, watch Gillanor Games, watch my other videos, and support all the other creators who are on the show and just creators in general. We are nothing without you guys. And we appreciate the support and you guys all watching all the time. So shout out again to Allie, for my co-producer. She's going to be mad at me if I don't say that. So I got to do that for helping out GG. And Gillanor Games finale is going to be out February 28th on Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. GMT.
We saw
It's going to be the biggest, best finale we have yet. Tune in to find out who the final 5 are and who's going to win the biggest prize in RuneScape history. Can't wait. Below
70
in the
billion.
comments, leave anything Gillanor Games question related, Soup RS question related. I'll get back in the comments to you guys and reply to as much as I can. And I'd love to chat with everybody. So yeah, thank you guys again.
Thank you so
Appreciate
much
it.
for joining us, man.
What an awesome interview with Soup,
It
man.
really has been. And also, let us know in the comments which JMod should be in this special Gillanor Games feature if we ever make that a reality.
Yes, exactly.
That'd be really good to know. But yeah, echoing what Sween's already said, it has been an absolute pleasure. Such
you
a
guys.
lovely guy. It's been such a fun time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. And
Appreciate it.
until next time, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Who
it.
knows?
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
The official OSRS podcast. God, I love this podcast. Mod, Sween, and IEs chatting shit with the boys, man. I love that podcast. Soup's such a good guy, man. He is really nice in person and very bald and very handsome. I'll just go ahead and say it. D-Sams, thank you very much for that 3-monther. W's in the chat if you enjoyed the podcast today, the little listen in. I very much look forward to those every time they release.